the night, you're here with Mike in the night. Let's just talk about the world, give this page another turn, 'cause you're here with us tonight. Everything's alright when you're here with Mike in the night. Mike in through the night, you're here with Mike in the night. Giving the world light when you're here with Mike in the night. Mike in through the night, you're here with Mike in the night. Sometimes things are just absurd, so let's just talk about the world, 'cause you're here with us tonight. Mike in through the night, you're here with Mike in the night. Mike in through the night, you're here with Mike in the night.
Oh yes.
Let's just talk about the
Oh yes.
Give this page another curl, 'cause you're here with us tonight.
Welcome to Mike in the Night. That was Gemini Crew. Look down in the comments. He'll make you a tune for your channel or anything you got going on. Gemini King. Look him up on Facebook. Popular guy. Welcome to Mike in the Night. Burning the midnight oil. I want to thank everyone from all the English-speaking countries that are joining us from the UK, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, and the United States of America. And yeah, big hug to everybody out there. I want to thank everybody for their tips in the tip jar. Thank you so much. Someone sent me a huge tip from Australia in the tip jar. I actually took the money and bought a bunch of Under Armour, heat clothing that's good for heat, and it keeps you warm all day, like skin clothes underneath your clothes. Really good. Really happy. Yeah. Mike in the Night, guys. Thanks for joining me tonight, broadcasting out of Merritt, British Columbia. The time is 9:03 p.m. Western Seaboard time. Today is November the 10th, or it's November the 11th, actually, for most of the world. I want to thank everyone that's rolling into the comment section with Mike in the Night. It's not too night here. I got all the lights on, but it is kind of foggy and overcast here in Merritt. This plume of fog is coming over the mountains, and it's kind of coming into the valley here where I'm at. And you look out the window, you can't see 2 feet in front of you. So luckily, everything here where I live in this small town is only a 1 kilometer distance away from everything. So that's not a bad thing at all. And everyone's rolling into the comment section for Mike in the Night. Broadcasting, very important, guys, that we unite all English-speaking countries for one simple reason. Everything is happening right across the board in all the same countries. Why? The free market. Our free market. Come on in, buy us out, buy us out. It's okay. Hey, you know what? Buy out my kids and buy out my grandkids while you're out that. While you're at it, buy it all. Buy the whole country. Buy our public parks. Hey, buy our farms 100 times over asking price. So, lots in the comment section here. Kenny the Farmer, uneducated economist, Oliver Saint-Juan. Who else is here? Turbo Diesel, Lord Humongous from Colorado. Yeah, everybody in the comments piling up for here for Mike in the Night. Yeah. So, I don't know if you guys saw today's video on my channel. Check it out. I was discussing how I closed my eBay store today. I want to do something more independent and kind of maybe use a bit of my little bit of popularity to open a different online store, more directed, something a little bit different, because a lot of the stuff I sell in 5 years will be worth a lot more money. So it's a lot of rare collectible stuff that I get from suppliers, and I get it in quantity, right? So I was thinking of maybe holding on to my stuff a couple of more years and getting a lot more for the value for it, right? But hence inflation, right? And if you haven't yet, guys, please subscribe to my channel, live right now. And today's video will be located right here. Goodbye, eBay. Check it out, guys. I did the whole eBay thing. It did well for me. I mean, it did okay for me. It did well, actually. I'm not going to lie. It did well. But it's just... We're going to roll into the first story here, guys. And this is why. One of the major reasons. And why I'm just so... not motivated anymore. 150 trailers of mail pile up as Canada's post strike shuts down country's biggest processing plant. So, I went into the post office today. And, saw, what, 22 of my packages in the back room. Or 18, 20 packages. There's a lot of packages in the back room. And the lady said, yeah, it's still here from last week. I'm like, oh. So I'm going to have to start dealing. So I closed my eBay store, but I can still receive messages. So I might have to deal with these people soon. Because it's just sitting there in the post office. So I messaged quite a few people today to let them know. So it's a little bit tough. You know, when you can't get the packages back because they're not allowed to give them back to you once you send them out. So, Canada Post Corporation mail delivery truck sits in the gateways of the Postal facility parking lot in Toronto. Rotating strikes hit this plant for the second time in 3 weeks, Tuesday. With no indication where the rotating strikes will end, Canada Post warns blockages will get worse. Hey, this is phenomenal. Do it right during Christmas like now, because a lot of people take 2 to 3 weeks to ship their stuff out. This is really good timing, and they always do it around Christmas. Oh, Mike, but they need to strike for more money, more food. You know what, guys? If I needed more money, I would just find a better job. Not another job. Finding a second job means you're enslaving yourself. I just find a better job. And, oh, benefits and this and that. Public service workers. That's it. Private sector workers are going to take a beating today in tonight's show with the amount of retail closures we're going to get to. So, let's keep going here. Strikes will end. Blockages will get worse. Canadian Union Postal Workers says 4,500 Canada Post employees joined the picket lines in Toronto at 7 p.m. on Tuesday. And I think here on Wednesday and Thursday was here in Merritt. They were there, and Kamloops, they were all outside picketing. So, this goes to show the private sector, the public sector workers, sorry, things need to be essential. Mail, hospitals, police, things that we're paying for need to continue running. You know, oh, we need more. Everybody needs more money. Everybody needs more money. I got 40, 50 people message me in the last 5-6 days. You know what they told me? Mike, I'm having a really tough time. I don't think I can make my mortgage payment this month. That's how bad it's getting. Okay, people from Australia are telling me this. People from UK are messaging me saying they barely could cover rent and they're already 2 months behind. You know, people in Vancouver are messaging me. People in where was it? Parts of California messaging me. They're going to have to move into their car this weekend because they have no way of making it. I'm like, what do you do for work? Oh, I'm a technical analyst for some tech company. What? And you can't afford your rent? Oh, it's the student loans that are, you know, it's the student loans. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what? There's more happening here. So, one thing that kind of dissuaded me today for, and kind of pushed the pressure on me for closing my eBay store is this. Mail piling up post strikes. I'm not feeling it anymore. I don't need the stream of income. And I don't need the extra aggravation, especially when you do your job. And you saw all my videos and rants on how people claim to not receive the item when they did, and or tracking shows it was delivered and they want a refund. So, yeah, we're going to kick that to the side. Let's move on. So I want to throw this in. We're not real estate night tonight. It's not I'm not the cable guy tonight either, but this is an interesting one, and it kind of belongs in the morning what's happening here around the world. Free mortgage deals attract buyers to Langley development despite condo glut. So they can't move these units. And expect to see developers offering incentives in Langley. Companies promise to pay your first year's mortgage. And the lower mainland housing market softens. First-time buyers leaped to the chance to live mortgage-free for 1 year in response to a Langley developer's offer to make their mortgage payments. Yeah, but what are the strata fees on these little things? Right? Oh, the strata fee needs to be $700 a month. We need to pay one guy to go around wiping things down. You know, we got Consuela here just to no, Mr. Peter. We get Consuela here so she could, clean the building all alone and charge everybody in 100 units $700 a month. So when something does happen, they'll have to take us to court and then we'll have to fix the problem. Let's move on. Pow. Are you guys ready for this one? Some Canadians would sell an organ to get rid of debt, survey shows. Wow. Okay. Some Canadians would sell an organ to get rid of debt, survey shows. I don't know if anyone's haunted by debt. Some Canadians say they'd consider selling an organ if it made their liabilities disappear, according to the troubling new poll, Financial Services MNP, which runs Canada's largest insolvency practice. 5% of some 2,000 survey respondents said that they'd be ready to part ways with non-essential body parts if served to eliminate their debt, according to research conducted by Ipsos in behalf of the MDP in December 2017. Wow. So that's how crucial it's getting. You know, a lot of people out there don't need more debt. See, the problem is a lot of people are saying, hey, you know what? We need more credit here. We need to get more income, and we need more money. A lot of people don't need more money. They need credit counseling, and that's the problem. A lot of people need credit counseling. All right, let's move on. I got so many articles open here, guys. It's scary. So many articles. Listen to this one. This is a true story. Florida surgeon mistakes woman's healthy kidney for a tumor and removes it. I'm gonna say, you know what? I don't know how you could. A Florida woman underwent back surgery and ended up having a healthy kidney removed after surgeon mistook the organ for a tumor. I don't know what to say, guys. I don't know what to tell you guys. Like, Florida surgeon mistakes woman healthy kidney for a tumor and removes it. We'll see if we get Evan on tonight, our truth analyst. Queen offers to restore British rule over the United States. Guys, watching me in the United States of America. I get you, my pretty, and your little dog, too. Look at that. She's going to restore British rule over the United States. In an unexpected televised address on Saturday, Queen Elizabeth II offered to restore British rule over the United States of America. Addressing the American people from her office in Buckingham Palace, the Queen said that she was making an offer in recognition of the desperate situation you find yourselves in. This 240-year experiment of self-rule began with the best of intentions, but I think we can all agree that it didn't end well, she said. The Queen argued Americans to write in her name of Election Day, after which the transition of British rule could begin with a minimum bother. Imagine what the Founding Fathers would say to that. They just go back to war. They don't care. Today, everyone's scared. Elizabeth acknowledged that in the wake of Brexit, Americans might justifiably be alarmed about being governed by British Parliament system. But she reassured the Parliament will play a role in this deal. This would be an old-school monarchy. Just me, and then, assuming you'd rather not have Charles, we could go straight to William and those children of his who have mesmerized you. And you know what the funny thing is? You'll get a lot of people in America that would say, yes, let's do this. This sounds great. And that's the scary part, people. That's why they had to deplatform the Portuguese Empire, because it wasn't falling apart in the 1970s. It was still together. And then the British had to go there and say, no, Portuguese can't be this powerful. They got to go. So they deplatformed Portuguese Africa, started wars in Portuguese India, and started problems in Portuguese Macau and Portuguese Timor. So this is the welfare challenge, guys. I was going to join the welfare challenge this year. And welfare challenge is nice because it lets you eat, you have to eat X amount of, like, you're on welfare and see how you would do. So welfare challenge canceled because participants could face starvation. Starvation. Participants on this year's annual welfare challenge would have had only $5.75 to spend on food for an entire week. In the file photo, Fraser Doak lays out food at the start of the 2016 challenge. Could you live on $5.75 a week? Metro Vancouver's annual welfare food challenge isn't happening this year because the cost of rent leaves almost nothing for participants to spend on food. It's an annual welfare food challenge. So I was going to join it this year to see if I could live off $5.75 a week in food. $5.75, not $6 though. $5.75 a week on food. Every fall for the past 6 years, Raise the Rates has challenged participants, including politicians, celebrities, and chefs, to live on a provincial welfare rates for 1 week in 2017. After subtracting rent and other basics like bus fare, that meant $19. But with recent rent increases, participants this year would only have $5.75 to spend on food for a week. This year, we can possibly ask someone voluntarily to live on $5.75 a week for food. Organizers Kel Gerlings said during the news conference announced in 2018 challenge. So here's the thing they have. They usually have this big thing where everyone goes up and talks and speaks in a forum. And so it's $5.75 a week, Canadian dollars. So that's about $4.90 or $4.80 US dollars. And that's about 70 pesos. 80 pesos, I think. So, yeah. that's the so the average single room for it goes over the cost of living and blah blah blah. So the average is at $5.75 a week. I did take notice of this earlier 2 weeks ago, and I was gonna do this and make a video series about it and have my $5.75. And so yeah, so there's got to be a way to live off, because there are people trying to live off $5.75 a week. Sorry, $5.75 a week. Yeah, that's 6, 12, 18. That's 25 bucks a month. That's what they live off on Cuba. But the problem is, in Cuba, with $5.75, you could fill your house with produce, right, from the local farmers, right? So $5.75. I'm wondering what you could do per week. Yeah, you can't. I don't think you could eat anything nutritious though, because if you do, I'm just trying to think what you could do on $5.75 a week. But I was gonna do a video series for a whole week, see what I could do for $5.75, but. Okay. Someone's saying in the comments, lentils, rice, oil. Adrian Sharp in the comments is saying some people can go over a year without eating and just drinking water. No, it's $5.75 a week, bud. John Oliver St. John saying $5.75. No, $5.75 a week. $5.75 on food for an entire week. Could you live off $5.75 a week? Metro Vancouver's annual welfare food challenge. So I was gonna do it last year, the welfare food challenge, and that was, what was it? It was here. It was. I think it was $19. Oh, it was $19 a week. Yeah. So yeah, it was $19 a week last year, and it was a little bit easier to live off $19. Yeah, right. Yeah. $19 was last year. You could. $19, I think if you buy Cherry Pez, if you drink a lot of tap water, I'm just trying to think. I think you just got to stock up on mac and cheese and see if you get it on clearance. I'm just trying to think, because I did see sometimes some expired mac and cheese, like 3 or 4 packs for $1, 3 packages. Oh, those noodles. The 50-cent noodles that come, it's loaded with sodium. You know, the packaged and you have to boil it yourself? They're like 10 cents or 25 cents each. Yeah, someone says, you guys heard of dry fasting? Not too sure. The Don's in the house. Anon's in the house. So that's that, guys. Can you guys, in the comments section, could you live off $5.75 a week for food? I'm going to move on to the next story. We'll get Evan on the show and see what he tells us later. Chicago Sun-Times, Hillary Clinton remains the Stop opening this crap. I don't care. Hillary Clinton remains the Democrats' best chance to defeat Trump in 2020. Yeah! Sorry, I'm just looking over at the comment section with you guys. I'm just kind of seeing what you guys are up to here. Intermittent fasting, Anon saying. Real estate slowing down on Nanaimo. Double A says, I could live off $5.75. I would just go to the food banks. You know, $5.75 maybe in Australia could get you a lot further than maybe it could in Canada. You never know. Because I know $5.75 in Mexico, you could get into a nightclub and buy like 2 beers. And maybe 3 beers. Okay. Hilldog. Is she gonna poison and destroy the Democrats again? the Hill has commented. Washington D.C. based political website has been shared more than 62,000 times. Clinton remains the best known and most accomplished potential Democrat candidate in the nation. She and her husband, former President Slick Willie Clinton, bring immense star power. I don't think America's looking for stars to run their country. They're looking for people to fight for their people, uphold the Constitution, someone to take out the garbage. Okay. Someone's asking, Mike, have you ever stolen groceries? Mike. No, I've never stolen. I don't think I've stolen ever. Have I stolen anything in my life? I don't think I did. I'm just trying to think if I stole anything from anybody ever. I think, like, you know, those 2-cent candies or 5-cent candies at the little convenience stores. I didn't steal them. I just tested one. Oh, maybe grapes. You know when you're walking around the grocery store and you see grapes on display? And you want to try one before you buy it? I've done it like that. I've done things like that, but I didn't feast off them. So there it is, guys. In the comments, guys, let me know. Does Hill Dog have a chance to win this race, guys? Hill Dog, good old Hill Dog. Is she just gonna poison the Democrats continuously? Poison the Democrats. It says here, she beat Donald J. Trump last time, at least by the popular votes. Can she do it again? This time for real? I don't think the Democrats are gonna risk it. Police warning about convicted child abductor Randall Hopley living in Vancouver. It's like, you know what, guys? I brought this up because I got kids. A lot of people have kids out there. If they know he's a child abductor and they know he has the potential to reoffend, tons of assaults on him, the guy's got a crime record like Charles Manson. Why are you letting these people out for? What's the point? You skim a little bit in your company, you could do 5 years in jail. He was sentenced to 6 years for abducting a 3-year-old boy from his home on September 7, 2011. So you get 6 years. So he was sentenced to 6 years. Did they let him out earlier? That's the question. So there's all these, I guess, they're putting all these, inciting all these laws against them, basically, not to be near or around places where children, not to be in the presence of any children under the age of 16. Like, why, obviously this buddy's got a problem. Why do they let people out? I have a lot of people I can bring up on this show. Articles of people that I know of or knew in the Vancouver area that have committed very heinous crimes, and they don't do any time. They just don't go to jail. And I'm saying bring back execution. Oh, 100%, man. People start thinking twice when they know their life's on the line. Adrian Sharp is saying maybe they let him out early because he wasn't being a pedo in jail. Garbage. This guy's garbage. Oh, you're hurting his feelings, Mike. Why would you say something like that? Garbage. Alright, let's move on. Antifa protesters chant outside Fox's Tucker Carlson's home and break door. A group of angry Antifa protesters gathered outside of the Fox News anchor Tucker Carlson's home on Wednesday evening. The anti-fascist group, possibly associated with the Smash Racism DC, chanted, "Tucker Carlson, we will fight. We know where you sleep at night." outside Carlson's Washington home, according to Fox News, in a video posted online. The group can also be heard saying, "Racist scumbag, leave town." Carlson's wife, Susie, was home alone at the time. He told Fox she locked herself into a pantry and called the police. This is absolute garbage. Losers. I'm pretty sure if these people had $1 million to their name, everybody, all of a sudden, $1 million appeared in their bank accounts, they'll disappear for a couple of years and stop their... Because you know why these people are doing this? Because they have nothing to lose. When you have nothing to lose, you start pulling garbage like this. You want what others have, but not work for it. Garbage. Here's the problem. I have 4 children, he told Fox. I never thought twice about leaving them home alone, but this reaction came as a group doesn't like my TV show. So somebody that calls the news as it is, calls a spade, and somebody that actually breaks through the so-called transparency in the news and actually gets to ask the right question, has the right guests on, deplatforms people on his show because they have no constructive criticism to add to the agenda but calling people a racist. He comes on and deplatforms and actually sets things up properly, gets people, ask the right questions, and then a lot of these people get, turn out real small in the limelight when it comes to actually knowing what's really going on in the grand scheme of things. Tucker Carlson's superly informed. I think he's very well educated too. I think he's got a lot going on for him. And again, a lot of garbage out there. It's just they're finding reasons to hate on people now. Just and like this is what I'm afraid of. It's not the housing crash. It's not the retail stores closing. It's not all that. It's the people that have nothing. That have nothing to lose. And when they start pulling garbage like this, oh, I don't care. I'll go to jail. I'll get 3 meals a day. That's the attitude that I'm afraid of. Walking Journey in the house, 2-time world champ. Don't forget to check out his channel. Tucker Carlson. I feel bad for the guy. If you don't watch Fox News, check it out. And calling a spade a spade. So we got that guy, we got that guy. RT. UK's first robot-assisted heart valve surgery results in patient's death. Guys, I wouldn't want to be hooked up to that thing. That looks like Professor Cyclops or the guy from Spider-Man. I wouldn't want to be under that knife. I would never want to be under that knife. So, I mean... would you guys do this? Would you guys... UK hospital is probing the cause of patient's death after UK's first robot-assisted heart valve surgery. First robot-assisted heart valve? If someone told me, Mike, would you like to do a assisted heart valve surgery? Hello?
Mike, how's it going there?
Good, good. How are you, my brother?
Great. I just wanted to call. I mean, you got a great show, but I mean, do you invite debate? Like, people can argue with you about Fox News or to make things interesting? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm not in the argumentative mood tonight. I'm not in the mood tonight to debate whether Fox News is wrong or right. The fact that they're protesting outside the guy's house, I mean, that's just, what.
Well, I mean, have in society has protest ever been like controlled with an agenda is the thing, and then are we making a mistake in society and taking sides in these fights, like Trump versus Carlson? Do you remember that? No, Trump versus, what's that guy's name that was in the White House? Kicked out?
Yeah, the
Don't
guy,
remember?
the Acosta.
Yeah. Okay, well, like, what if you find both of them to be liars? I just feel like we shouldn't take sides in this because this Acosta guy, it's true he's a liar and things, but then is the president. And just back to Fox News, I mean, they oppose Obama on the most retarded things, but let him get away with murder for 8 years. Literally get away with murder. So Fox News, I just don't think it is that valid. That's why we have, like, alternative media. Fox News tries to tell us that we had a weak military under Obama. It's like, wait, like, how many people needed to die in Libya for this lie to be projected?
Right.
Fox News, where were you when we were creating the refugee crisis? Oh, that's right, saying somehow Obama was a weak backbone. No, so it's all incoherent. I mean, what do you think Fox News should do? Should be telling the American people on foreign policy? Why do we have refugee crises?
You know what? I'm going to be really frank with you. I think a lot of people shouldn't be told about what's happening in foreign policy. Not everybody, but it's because a lot of people don't understand it, and a lot of people, how do you say, misdirect or misinterpret what's really going on. And then that's the big problem right there. And we're supposed to be so severely and overly educated. We live in Western countries. We all could read and write and this and that. But in the grand scheme of things, it means absolutely nothing when you can't process the information. Like I used to say to my employees, I know you understand, I know you speak English, but do you understand English? It's a different thing.
That's true, but if we don't, we're so misinformed on foreign policy, it also relates to the housing market too. I mean,
yes.
And where the immigration pattern falls. I mean, people don't understand the pattern of, oh, we give Obama a Nobel Peace Prize. Why is there 50,000 new Syrians living in Toronto, needing services in Canada, thanks to this Nobel Peace Prize? We're dealing with distractions, and I just think, you know, everyone's got their own opinions, but Fox just might be another distraction, just like CNN. CNN's another one. They'll call a man racist and this and that, but they won't talk about wars anymore. It's fascinating. The Democratic Party platform, I don't know if you know this, they used to stand for peace and things about pacifism. You know,
Can I ask?
They threw out the window for the almighty dollar because it's apparently really profitable to wage war on the world and dump the refugees on Toronto.
Yep, no, it's happening. You know, let me ask you something. I got this article here. Hillary Clinton remains the best Democrats' best chance to defeat Trump in 2020. What do you think of that?
It just looks to me like a one-party state where neither party really voices a coherent strategy and a patriotism, and it'd just be a bizarre spectacle. At this point, the Democratic Party is really twisted. They took over Michigan, basically. It's fascinating by electing former CIA agents that prided themselves on working with Bush. It was bizarre.
Yeah.
All of this flip-flopping between parties. It's just, we have a single-party state.
Yeah. I know Jesse Ventura. I know Jesse Ventura has been discussing this for at least the last decade. Jesse Ventura has been talking about this. The former governor of Minnesota has been saying it's been like this for the last 10 years, and he wrote a really famous famous bestseller called the Democrats versus the the Crips, the Demon Crips versus the other gang, whatever, something like the two gangs in the U.S., right? The Crips, yeah. So he wrote a book. It's very famous, and it talks about how they're all in the same gang. It doesn't really, there's no difference.
Right, and I think now the political situation, the Trump tax cut was really hyped in January, for making a stock market boom that they told us, Fox News told us, I mean, times 10. Fox News told us that this bull market would go on forever, and Fox News doesn't talk about Toronto real estate crashing, Australian, because I think if they did, people would realize that we're not in that stage in the credit cycle anymore. So that's what I guilt Fox with, and CNN, of course, too. And then our news media would just try to divide us, basically. Who do we credit this economic boom with? Should we thank Obama or thank Trump? And I'm thinking, what if we stop thanking leaders and focus on our own industries and their challenges and the credit cycle. And just what you were saying about the two demonic parties, now we get to watch them debate in a kabuki theater in front of the nation. Watch them fight on budgets. What do you think is going to happen as far as the new House economically?
The new House, it's going to be a lot of complaining and fighting back and forth and a lot of whining. That's all it's going to be. They're not going to accomplish anything. They're just going to rally the people, and they're just going to point fingers at each other. That's all they're going to do. They're going to accomplish absolutely nothing.
Right. So that's interesting. Because if you look at the housing in the United States, taking this correction in Seattle, have you seen that recently?
Yes, of course. I've been covering the Seattle housing crisis correction. It's down 79,000 now in the last quarter.
Yeah, and that's interesting because that would be a city that would never have any belief in Trump or republicanism or any type of conservatism. You understand that? That is like ground zero for liberal millionaires. So that it's just fascinating because they might get their aha moment, like, see, we've been telling you, because all those businesses too that are based in Seattle, their CEOs hate the president. You realize that? Of
course. But you know what, guys? In all fairness, nothing's gonna happen because you got Pelosi in there. I'd rather get up. If I was sitting in the House, I'd get those heavy machinery earplugs. I'd put them in my ears and not even hear a damn word she's gonna say. I just put them in my ears. I'd sit there and I'd play Magic the Gathering on a tablet or something.
She's a twisted. It's fascinating watching her speak. Actually, how people can be so brain dead to listen to her talk about her Catholicism and just bizarre. Her ideology is just all over the place. To be championing for the cause of contraception and late-term abortions, and then sing psalms on Colbert while he does the sign of the cross. Bizarre stuff. We're seeing a total spectacle. But yeah, Pelosi. Then the other thing is Maxine Waters. They want to make her in charge of the House Financial Services Committee.
Oh, you're talking about the First Nations lady. That's nice.
First Nations. What did she do?
She's First Nations, Aboriginal.
No, the Maxine Waters is African American.
Okay. Who's the Aboriginal one?
Elizabeth Warren.
Elizabeth, you should have seen her on Thanksgiving and I saw it on the Mark Dice channel. How she's been she's like 0.00003% of Aboriginal blood in her. Cherokee. Yeah. That
would be Pocahontas.
Yeah. Pocahontas. You know, Pocahontas never went to college.
Did not know that.
Yeah. But I just kind of want to throw that out there. But yes, it's the most bizarro thing. The professionalism for a lot of politicians have been completely thrown right out the window. I would rather deal with organized criminals like mafia. 1, they dress better. 2, they tell you straight up what's going to happen when you can't pay them back. And 3, they don't lie to you.
Oh, yeah, but the Democrat Party, even the whole government operates just like a mafia. There was
but the mafia doesn't lie to you. They tell you straight up what's going to happen.
Really?
Of course the mafia does. They tell you, here's 10 grand. If you don't pay us, this is going to happen.
That's true. But we don't know what's happening to these politicians. Maybe there's good people mixed in that have these threats. It's the MK Ultra type things. And they're saying that Pierre Trudeau was threatened by some dark powers. Very interesting old stories. How both of our countries are related. But yeah, I'll leave it to another caller if they want to add a rant. And
I'm gonna be really frank with you, brother. We're not going anywhere, and a lot of people have nothing to lose. And when people have nothing to lose, they fight back because they have nothing to lose, and that's what I'm becoming scared of. If you look up on my screen right now, guys, there's the book I was talking about. It's called Demon Crips and Republicans. Red Blood Lickens. And there's a cover there of Jesse Ventura's book discussing the two parties on how they're pretty much the same thing. So,
right, like the moron from CNN that got in this bigger match between him and Trump. Never really asked him hard questions. It's always just about Russia.
And racism and collusion and blah, blah, blah. You're a racist. And it's like, okay, you know what? I'd be more offended if someone called me a towel or a toaster than a racist. Someone comes to me and says, Mike, you're a racist? I'll be like, okay, my shirt's blue today, thank you. It would mean nothing. It means zero. But if someone said to me, Mike, you're a toaster? And I'd be like, what? Why? You know?
Right. And, yeah, they love to distract us with things like that. To divide us based on it. To make certain groups feel offended.
But those words mean nothing anymore. They have zero value. The word racist means nothing. I would be more offended if someone called me a towel.
Right.
You know, I don't want to be called a towel. You know, like Towley on South Park. I don't want to be a towel. But they've overused and used sensitive words, and people are being desensitized to some of these words, and guess what they mean? Sweet F all.
Right, and it's all by design by our political class to scapegoat the current president. I didn't vote for him, but I also don't suddenly start to like the Bush family because he's making fun of this person today. I mean, it's just fascinating how we live in this Orwellian reality where every other politician is suddenly more innocent now because we have a mean man sitting there hurling insults. It's all by design.
I can tell, you know what, back in the Tammany days, back in the 1860s, 1850s down in New York, when people were so excited to vote and they'd be having the marching bands playing behind them in between intermissions, and people would be throwing food and produce at the people up on stage. That was politicians. That was politics. That was fighting the grind and dodging the rotten eggs being thrown at you. Now, it's become... I don't know. I don't know if people have souls anymore. I don't know if, who's got a soul anymore? Who actually prides themselves and sleeps well at night knowing they're not screwing half the country up?
Yeah, I mean, there's so much into that. Even if they wanted to, would they be allowed to, or would they just be threatened? Who knows who's out there?
Yeah.
But, I'll let another caller come in, and maybe they have another rant in their perspective. I see you have some really interesting people in here, like that young lady from working on it there in
Alberta.
Yeah, very interesting stuff last week I saw.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on, and keep doing what you're doing.
God bless you. Thank you. All right, that's my man from downtown Detroit, Michigan State, calling in, giving us a heads up. Following the he's on no side. He doesn't like Trump, and he doesn't like the Democrats, and he doesn't like the Republicans. So this is Jesse Ventura's book, guys. I was talking about the Democrats versus the Bloodicans, the Red Publicans, based off a true story. Before we hit the store closures, guys, give me a sec here. Let me see if I could find that. I gotta make a bit of space here. Hopefully we could get Evan here on the show tonight, if he's not busy. I'm not sure if he's busy. Our truth analyst. Then we're going to have Steve the Plumber on the show. He's got a bomb for us. He's got a bomb for us that he wants, a bombshell of some news story. Bombshell of a news story he wants to share with us about what's happening. He went to the bank today and he's got some big news. Before I continue, before we kick off anything else, I want to acknowledge that Kevin Thompson is in the comments. I see he changed his avatar. I can't see the avatar, but Kevin Thompson is in the comment section, people. He is selling a condo. He's been trying to sell this condo now for the last year. He should have sold it 2 years ago when he would have got triple the money of what it's worth today. Okay. Let me see if I can get Steve the Plumber on, see where he's at. I'll give him a call. Trends in the housing market, guys, this Wednesday. Guys, don't forget to tip the tip jar, please. I feel rewarded when someone sends me $2. I'm not kidding. I'm like, holy crap. I feel like I've accomplished something. You know what I'm saying? Oliver Saint Juan is saying, Mike, I'm auctioning my house in New Zealand. And... oh, yeah, George asked me this question in the comment section. How do I buy a foreclosure house in Canada. Canada has rules about that. I tried doing that. It's not easy. The government's always on you when you're doing stuff like that. They don't want you to get something for nothing in Canada. Canada's a country where you can't get something for... In the U.S., you could go down right now to Florida and prices are dropping like a hot potato. You could buy a 3-bedroom house right now for under $200,000, a good one. You could buy a 2-bedroom house for $125,000 right now in some parts of Florida. Like good parts of Florida, desirable parts of Florida. You know, but unfortunately in Canada, it's you get nothing for you. Man, a deal in Canada. We have the highest postal rate. We have the highest taxation. We have the most complicated taxing system in the world. Okay, before we kick that anything else off, I did this in Portuguese on my Portuguese channel, guys. Yes, on my Portuguese channel. I did this story, and it's getting a lot of buzz on my Facebook fan page in Portuguese, too. And a lot of buzz on here, and they're stealing, Chinese are stealing sand off the beaches. China's searches for sand is destroying Mozambique pristine beaches, and we all know where the sand is going. It is going to build their islands of war, their war islands. Let's move on here. Oh, classic. Before we hit tonight's show, before we talk about store closures, Hamilton woman shocked, and Hamilton, Ontario people, and disgusted to find live mouse in grocery store, bro. There's the mouse right there. He was moving around when she was in the lineup. I can picture standing in the line and you're hearing some, you know that noise that plastic makes? That noise, and you're like, what is that? And you look at your bread and you see a mouse on the side? That's awesome. Well, I mean, back in the day, you would have 250 companies and bakeries distributing bread around the country. Now you got 4 companies distributing the bread to the whole country instead of 300, 400 companies. And that's the problem here. When you walk into your grocery store and you see all this product, it's only coming from 2-3 distributors, 2-3 manufacturers. But they make farm fresh produce, mountain fresh cherries, Johnson's ketchup, Heinz ketchup. It's all like 2 companies that do everything. Good, as someone's commenting, good old soft fake Italian bread. Yeah, back in the day, you'd have 30, 40, 300 companies making bread in Canada. Now you got 4. And they put chemicals in it so it doesn't go bad. And it helps you digest. Yeah. Yeah, that's what's happening, people. Let's move on. All right, looks like we're gonna get store closures here. Let me get Steve the plumber on the horn here. See if he could call before we kick off store closures. We'll probably get Anon in from Australia. I know he's in the comments to give us a good insight on what's happening with store closures in Australia. Probably somebody down from the United States could call in and talk about store closures in their neck of the woods. Let's get Steve on the phone here on the horn. Hopefully he picks up his phone. I hope he's not in jail. So he's got a bombshell of a story to share with us. He's in the city of Toronto right now as we speak. It's like midnight there, like 1 in the morning.
Who the hell is this?
Stevie, what's up, buddy? Were you sleeping?
No, not at all, man.
No. Oh, okay. It sounds like you. I woke you up in a slumber there. Sorry, bud, if you were. So you're live right now. You want to tell us what this bombshell is?
I'm just actually in the basement. I can hardly later. Let me give you a shout back from a line. Can you give me about 2 minutes?
Okay, go ahead.
Thanks.
Okay, so we're gonna hear from Steve in a few minutes. He's got to get on the landline to tell us he's got a bombshell of a story regarding the housing crisis out in the city of Toronto, and Someone's saying, actually, they opened some new premium outlets near my house. Well, yeah, you're going to see outlet stores opening along where the mass exodus of California is moving to. So you're going to see Colorado, Utah, Arizona, Nevada opening a bunch of big box stores in those specific areas because the mass exodus of 6 million Californians in the last 6 years moving east because they can't afford to live. And this is screwing up these other states with their liberal ways. And you have rent evictions where landlords are evicting people in mass so that they can rent out. They could rent out their property for more money. So it's happening in Reno. I covered a story that's happening in Reno, Nevada. I covered a story that's happening in Las Vegas. I covered the same story that's happening in Salt Lake City, Utah. I covered a story like that that's happening in Phoenix and what was the other city? Tucson. So rent evictions is a big deal. So the amount of Californians that have exoduses, like I mean, there was 1 month where U-Haul was paying Smurfs, they call them Smurfs, to go out to places like Utah and drive back U-Haul vehicles to California because nobody was coming back to California. So they were paying several thousand people to go out to these places. They would fly them out and bring the trucks back. And they were getting flying rates. They were getting cheap rates to fly people out. So they were buying bulk flying coupons to fly. Oh my God. Tent cities galore, says Lord Humongous. And that's what's been happening. Yeah, we covered the homelessness in Las Vegas. I left the link for... We covered that with Demise Music and Sound, who is living in San Jose, has been covering this for us. He's on assignment for us there. He's going to put together a compilation on what's going on down there in San Jose and surrounding areas. He's going to get down to San Francisco, hopefully, in the next couple of months and do a video for us down there and what's happening there. So, yeah, it's not good, guys. You have no idea how bad things are getting. Oregon, the state of Oregon lost in and around 260,000 people this year. The state of Washington State lost anywhere from 160 to 250,000, all moving eastward. You know, same thing with me in Vancouver. All of us left. Remember the Douglas Todd article I keep bringing up? Douglas Todd. Whites and Aboriginals leaving Vancouver in mass numbers into the interior of British Columbia, the state I live in. Everybody left the big city. Who's going to pay $2 million for a bungalow? It's crazy. A 180-year-old bungalow. For what? To say you have a bungalow in Vancouver? Who cares? Matt Guy is saying, a lot of stores are closing near me. Seems like a lot of businesses don't want to renew their lease. But my question is, who's going to want to rent these places at higher prices if the good ones want out? So Matt Guy, add me on. I don't think you have me on. I don't think I have you on Skype. My Skype is Mike Martins 1980. So if you want to come on the show and discuss this with us anytime, you could be on the show and give us a little bit of understanding on what's happening in your specific area. So, and then now with interest rates going up is a problem. Now, let me tell you why. Because the interest rates cover all lending. All lending gets affected. Credit cards, auto loans if it's not a fixed rate. And then you got all this going on. You know why? Small businesses, a lot of them took loans out to help back their business plan, right? The problem with, luckily I have no business. I don't care. I use my own money, my own product. I move things around when I have to. You know what I'm saying? eBay is getting so expensive. I closed my eBay store today. Watch the video, guys, today if you can. Subscribe to my channel, guys, right here. Under Rants and Lifestyle. Goodbye eBay 1 year later. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I've made a little bit of bank on it. Like, don't get me wrong. The bank was good. I'm talking, we're not talking a couple of grand. We're talking, like, huge numbers. Like, big numbers. But with the Canada Post strike and the postal workers on strike and the amount of you know, just the people, you know, I don't think I want this anymore. Can I have my money back? And I got to pay for shipping to bring it back and stuff like that. And then the frustrations, it's just not worth it. And I spend an hour and a half to 2 hours every day packing items and shipping it out. And then the price of shipping is going up. My price of shipping is phenomenal. Watch the video I did under my home business from scratch. There's a series right here. I talk about this whole thing going on here. Business from scratch, shipping, and look, eBay sales out of control. Holy smokes! Yeah, I even break down some numbers. But the price of shipping is in Canada is absurd. You have no idea how expensive it is. Oh, Mike, what, you can't pay $14 to ship it? No, it's like $50, $40 to ship a box. I shipped a box the other day. I don't know how many miles away. Oh yeah, to San Francisco. No, was it San Francisco? Yeah, San Francisco. It was $62. It was under, I think it was 1 kilo for a box this big. Look at the video. So shipping is out of control. I think in all my heart of hearts that I think the government's too involved in our lives. We need less government. There's too much governing going on. I don't want to be told what kind of music to listen to. I don't want to be told, you know, what I should be watching on TV. I don't want to be told what cigarettes to smoke. I don't want to be told how to wash my clothes. I don't want to be governed. I don't want governed. I want to be free. I'll move to Rhode Island, live free or die. If you guys know, that's ocean states. I'm talking about New Hampshire. Here, you want to see New Hampshire's license plate? Check this out. New Hampshire's license plate. Right here, guys. Live free or die. It's so hard to even pass a seatbelt law for people to wear a seatbelt in their cars because it infringes against their freedoms. New Hampshire. Live free or die. I've been to Portsmouth, New Hampshire. I've been all around New Hampshire. I have family that lives there. Live free or die. And that's how it works. I live in BC, and yeah, it costs more to ship things than what the item is worth. Yeah. And that's what's hitting me right now. And you know what? The stuff I sell, a lot of the collector stuff just becomes more valuable. I buy it in bulk. I buy it at wholesale price. So, you know what I do? I just hold on to it. I don't need to. I can hold on to it for 5 more years and then get banged for my buck. That's it. Problem solved. You know? Start selling 5 years later after the fact. So I set up a conveyor belt where I start selling 5 years from now everything I have here, but everything I collect, I start dating everything when it was purchased, and then I don't sell it for 5 years down the road and actually get banged for the buck. Real bang for the buck. Because the open market won't have availability of what I have. A lot of what I have, you know? Especially some of those rare Star Wars toys I get in that are super rare, numbered stuff, serial numbered stuff. I just hold on to it and start unloading it in 5 years. So, live free or die. I don't know where Steve is. He's not calling us back. So he's probably in the middle of something, so I'm not going to bug him. Okay, guys, let's kick it off. Store closings. Sale. 6 stores. Sick. Not stick. 6 stores. These are chains that are dying off fast. So they're sick and they're dying. This is likely going to go down as the most brutal year for some store chains. By our counts, Bankrupt, Sears, Toys R Us, and others have closed well over 5,000 stores. And that's not looking only at the bigger chains. Smaller regional retailers have been shuttering stores too. It says shuttering, not shutting. A huge shopping shift away from the mall onto the smartphone and tablets meant more going out of sale business sales, store layoffs, and empty big boxes. Here we go. So JCPenney, 30 locations. Lord & Taylor, 10 stores. Macy's, 11 more stores to close. Victoria's... Oh no, Victoria's Secret? I like taking my wife there. 20 stores. Herning Bandel, 23 stores. Crocs. Wow, they actually opened a store just to sell this? 47 stores. J. Crew, 50 stores. Abercrombie and Finch, 60 stores. Sam's Club, 63 stores! Claire's, 92 stores. What's Claire's? I've never been in there. Winn-Dixie and Bilo Foods, 94 stores. Oh, Winn-Dixie. I remember the commercials on TV. Getting better all the time. Brookstone, 102 stores. Oh, it's a bookstore. Is it a bookstore? It looks like a bookstore. Is it? Looks like a bookstore. Foot Locker, 110 stores. How are you going to buy shoes online? If they don't fit, what are you going to do? Mail them back? Number 17, Guess, 120 stores. Number 16, Vitamin World. Michael Kors, 125 stores. The Children's Place, 144 stores. Kmart. Whew. Remember, they're backed by Sears, right? So, The Gap and Banana Republic, 200 stores. GNC. Oh, these guys, I don't even know if this stuff even worked. Half the stuff they sold there. Signet Jewelers. Or Zales. Okay. 200 stores. Sears, 222 stores. Best Buy Mobile, 250 stores. Bon-Ton, 260 stores. Tiavana, 379 stores. Subway. Not sure who this is calling in. Hello, are you there? I don't think there's anybody. My phone locked out. Subway, 500 stores. Ann Taylor and her sisters, 547. Oh, Loft, okay. Rite Aid, 600 stores. Wow, that's not good. They do 1 hour photo there still, guys. Mattress Firm, 700 stores. And Toys R Us, 735 locations. But this one, Mattress Firm, it's like Sleep Country Canada. Why buy a mattress anywhere else? So you notice how it's the higher end or more expensive stores? Because you can still buy toys at Walmart, right? You could buy clothing. You don't have to go to the Gap to buy clothing. You could buy it at Walmart, right? So a lot of people are going to thrift stores. Thrift stores are a big thing. This spring, late spring, I'm going to do a tour with my friend Mike. We're going to go around to Calgary up to Edmonton. We're going to come back around to Vancouver, like around. And we're going to do like 150 thrift stores. And thrift stores and secondhand stores. See if we could find any hidden treasures in them. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. I might even do a whole series for it. Of our road trip and then places to check out. And see what we could find in these kind of in thrift stores across the country. Well, across 2 provinces, you know what I mean? So that's that. That's the locations closing. These are huge locations. This is just the ones that are on this list. And this list is a lot older. I just brought this one up because it was really nicely laid out. And this is from like 5 months ago, right? Yeah, October 18th. Sorry, it was 3 weeks ago. Sorry, guys, 3 weeks ago. But still, I mean, that's 5,000 locations right there. Well, they're saying they're 5,000 stores, and that's including smaller chains that they haven't listed on this list. Sorry, I don't want to misinform people. So let's move on. Where the heck was that? That was here somewhere. No, that's the Rat in the Bread. U.S. retail stores posting biggest decline in 11 months. Why? The middle class is disappearing. We did a whole show of it, I don't know, 4 weeks ago. So if you missed it, go back to my channel. Go to Mike in the Night right here. Go to Mike in the Night, Mike in the Night. Second one down from the third one down, housing crisis, Mike in the Night. You go back here, you can find all my shows. It's called The Disappearing Middle Class. There it is. I got a picture of Houdini. He was an escape artist. He used to disappear. And Mike in the Night, Disappearing Middle Class. And I used Houdini as my avatar there. Because he was an escape artist. And where are these people? Where are they going? So, let's keep going here. Don't forget to share my stuff out there, guys. Don't forget to tip me in the tip jar, please. I love it when I get $1, $2. I just feel accomplished, guys. It's not about because it's money. It's just like I'm rewarded. Somebody's enjoying my stuff, or someone understands. Or okay, Washington routers. U.S. retail sales unexpectedly fell in January, recording their biggest drop in nearly a year as households cut back on purchases of motor vehicles and building materials. So you see Lowe's closing, and then I think the Porn Depot might close locations. You're going to start seeing all kinds of stuff going on, you know what I'm saying? And what's Rona and all those places. If no one's fixing their homes, heck, a lot of these landlords don't even fix these rentals up. They do rent evictions where they evict people. They throw a coat of paint on the wall. Okay, it's renovated now. Let's charge more for it. And that's happening right now in the central states, Nevada, Utah, western central states, Salt Lake City, Arizona, Phoenix. They're doing that, rent evictions, and it's a crime. So, everyone joining us in the stream. So, Washington routers. U.S. retail sales unexpectedly fell in January. I mean, you don't say. Recording their biggest drop in nearly a year as households cut back on purchases of motor vehicles and building materials. Now, this is from a year ago. And you know why I'm bringing this up a year ago? Because they had an 11-month decline. And look what's happening today. Vehicles, building materials. Oh, it's all the tariffs on the vehicles, so we're going to lose jobs. No! They're already not buying it a year ago. Nobody has money. They weren't selling cars a year ago. It says right there. Building materials. Why do you think Rona's closing? The Commerce Department said on Wednesday that retail sales decreased 0.3% last month, the largest decline since February 2017. Data from December was revised to show sales unchanging, rising 0.4% as previously reported. And you know what? A lot of people can't pay the rent and keep the lights on when you're only increasing 0.4%. I could tell you with my business experience and the businesses I've owned and staffing and all that stuff, trust me on this. Economists polled by routers have forecasted retail sales climbing 0.2% in January. Retail sales in January rose 3.6% from a year ago. So guys, this is a year ago. This article's from a year ago, and that's why we're losing all these big routers and toy stores closing. Let's move on. Canadian vehicle sales continue to decline in September. Here we go. We got September's numbers. According to the latest Global Economic Auto News flash from Scotiabank, Canadian vehicle sales saw a 7.4% year-over-year decline in September. The middle class is finished. Do you understand? What does it even mean? We're going to have a show, I promise you, in the next 2 to 3 weeks. What does it mean to be middle class? Are you middle class? Do you think you're middle class? We'll break down the sectors and what it really means to be in the middle class. Or are we in the working poor? Are we working poor, or are we really middle class? With an annualized 1.97 million vehicles sold on average each month on Q3 2018, the result has been less than 2 million units, seasonally adjusted for the first time since 2016. According to Scotiabank, weakening consumer and business confidence toward the end of the summer is seen as an influential factor in lower vehicle sales and volumes. They're comparing years over years here. North America sales down in the U.S., United States, Canada, and Mexico. And then in South America, Argentina down 35.8%, followed by Brazil. And Brazil's up 16.8%, where the middle class in Brazil is growing fast. Chile, 11.4%. But Argentina is getting the big kick in the nuts. They're at negative 35.8%. And people say, Mike, what do you talk Portuguese to your kids for? If Brazil gets its head up out of its butt and sets themselves up properly in the next 20, 30 years, my kids, if they speak Portuguese, they're Portuguese citizens or dual citizens, they could go to Brazil, live there for a year as a Portuguese citizen, and apply for permanent status. If Brazil, with its population, its exports, its fabrication, its lumber, its raw materials, has the potential to be a big superpower if it could politically straighten itself out. That's why I speak Portuguese to my kids. And if Angola gets good again, or Mozambique gets good, they have countries they can move to, you know. It's not so heavily dependent on the Anglo-English-American empire, you know. So, someone saying, Brazil's not a nice place, man, very violent. I've been to Brazil, I think it's 14 times. Different states of Brazil, different states, different areas. Took some tours. I did independently. I didn't go through tours. I actually found, I go there. Olá, bom dia, você está fazendo isso? Olá, tá com Portugal? Yeah, tudo bem, okay, vamos fazer isso. Eu vou ficar aqui, espera pra você. And then we just do our thing and meet people and go to clubs, meet people there. Just hit the beaches and stuff. And I kind of did my own thing when I was there. When I went alone, I was single, right? Back in the day. I didn't see, the whole... Yes, it's violent. Yeah, there's, but the military police there has some sort of a crackdown on some of the bad areas. You know what I'm saying? Mysterious Blue Entity Channel says Canada is a clown country, Mike. Yeah, he was commenting today on my video about eBay, and the shipping is so expensive, and then having to give him 10%. Yeah. More than 3,800 stores will close in 2018. Here's the full list. So it's a different article. And pretty much the same article that we read. There's a couple of different ones here that are not on that list. So that's why it's going to be a lot of closures, because I don't think not a lot of people could have their finger on the pulse to know all locations that are going to be closing. Sears reportedly closing 40 more stores. This is from yesterday. Additional closures on the way. Sears will shutter an additional 40 Sears and Kmart stores in February 2019 and may announce even more closures in November 15th, reported USA Today. So 2019, you'll see more closures, and 89,000 employees will be gone with 1,000 stores. So they're looking at about 89,000 employees losing employment. And I think that's a big deal. 2018 retail bankruptcies, 12 and counting. So we're looking at huge. While retail as a whole appears to have weathered the so-called apocalypse, a number of companies have been unable to take advantage of the current economic good times. For brands like Sears, Toys R Us, the basic ones. So Mattress Firm, Claire's, same ones, the big ones. We want to get some boots on the ground, people out there to call in and tell us what stores in your area are closing. I see a lot of those private insurance companies closing down. A lot of those strip malls, I know in Burnaby and Vancouver, like in the Vancouver area in British Columbia, there's a ton of empty strip malls now. They used to have comic stores and massage therapy places. They would have barber shops, you know. Someone's asking, does Mattress Firm sell firm mattresses? That is the question, people. That is the question. We don't know. Let's move on. Lowe's closing 31 properties, 20 stores in the U.S. amid restructuring. That means layoffs is what it means. The improvement company said on Monday, in addition to closing 27 stores, it will also shutter 2 regional support centers in Mississauga. It's Mississauga, but I like to say Mississauga. Ontario and St. John's, Newfoundland. A truss plant in St. John's, Newfoundland, and block plants in Kamloops, BC, as a part of a plan to focus instead on the most profitable parts of the business. Among the 27 stores set to close by the end of January are 9 in Ontario, 9 in Quebec, 6 in Newfoundland, Labrador, 2 in Alberta, and 1 in British Columbia. I think there's only 1 in British Columbia anyway that I saw. I'm just being sarcastic. I don't know. I only saw 1 here in Vancouver, and that's it. And there's no parking. You go there, you can't park. You might as well just get a helicopter lift on the roof. And I'm saying Meyer in Australia. Okay, we got our truth analyst Evan calling in. Evan.
I'm here to crash the party, Mike. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm good. So we're gonna talk a few articles back and get your opinion on them.
Oh, good. I'm always happy to give an opinion.
And I'm gonna just make sure my volume's up here, good to go. Okay, so you see my dilemma with shipping online and with all these postal companies going on strike right before Christmas. Why are they jabbing us in the heart?
That's easy. They're crushing all the small businesses. This is their money-making month, isn't it? So they're going to absolutely run a lot of people under and consolidate more of their, retail power up there. In Australia, it's actually, even though I don't live in Australia, I live in Hong Kong. But in Australia, they quite literally have a double tax on online sellers, and retailers get the free pass. They get the discounted rent, they get the tax breaks. And if I bought from you, Mike, let's say, from overseas, and it was under $1,000, I have to pay Australian GST on a foreign purchase. Figure that one out.
Wow. Yeah, I just thought of that. It just hit my head. It's like, it doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any sense, and yet all the consolidation companies I use when I ship anything, Mike, they all sent me an email saying they're getting threatened by the Australian government to collect tax for them. So they don't even do their own tax collection these days. That's something nice, isn't it? Just in time for Christmas.
They're subletting their taxes now.
Yes, yeah, well, what would you call it? Outsourcing.
Outsourcing, yeah.
Making everyone do the work for them. But here's an even better one. Let's say you wanted to flee Australia and come work overseas somewhere. Then you had a contract. Let's say you came to Hong Kong. You would have to pay Australian income tax, 37%, even though you're working overseas for the first 2 years.
Why?
Until you're no longer a tax resident. Oh, because they said so. They've got a tax treaty with Hong Kong just like the Americans do. Other countries you might be a bit safer. I know in China you've got the same problem if you're in Australia. For me, I don't pay tax. I'm a citizen over here.
Okay.
I'm fine.
But so that means so basically the citizen is on loan to the country? Is that what it means?
Seems like it. Well, no, they have to. You have to pay your own rent to be a citizen overseas. I guess that would be the best way to describe it. In addition to the rent you would usually pay, and your salary tax, and your GST, and your ABN number, and all these other taxes and tariffs they put on top of your head to squeeze you until you submit to them. But I will never submit to them, Mike.
No. Anyways, next article. They're Langley, British Columbia, developments, condo glut is piling up. Lots of condos piling up. So they're actually giving deals, and they're paying their first year's mortgage. You don't have to pay mortgage for the first year. We'll pay it for you. How does that sound to you, Evan?
Have you ever heard the phrase, Mike, there's no such thing as a free lunch?
Yes, I have.
That's exactly what it sounds like. Please get scammed by us. Please go into debt one way or another. We'll even help you get into debt by giving you a financial incentive. They've got the first home buyers grants before. Obviously, they're not good enough. We have to quite literally flood the market with people who can't afford to buy. I don't think there's enough people to buy the amount of condominiums they're putting up at the moment, Mike.
No. We already went there with the supply and demand. There's an oversupply right now, and it's
That's right. They'll keep doing that as long as they can get away with justifying their price. If people believe they're that price, most of it's perception. If they believe that's the price, then they can get away with charging that price. More of a perception game than a realistic price game. I heard Ebenko prank called you earlier. Very well done, Ebenko. I'm sure he sounds just like me.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't hear nobody on the line, but that's okay. I heard.
You missed out.
Okay. Next article. Some Canadians would sell an organ to get rid of debt, survey shows.
That does not surprise me, but I don't think one organ would be enough to get out of debt these days. You'd probably have to sell your whole body twice over, I would have thought. Livers, kidneys, hearts, everything must go. Sail on now.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like to me, Mike. But here's the thing. They're doing organ harvesting in China if you're a delinquent.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
We're gonna do a whole cover. We're gonna do a whole show. We'll prepare for a proper China show, and we'll do.
Yes. But here's the thing: it's not just China. India, they send Dutch nurses over there to harvest organs off live children. That's quite an explosive take, but it's very much true. That's where they get their surgical training. They send them over to India, and they're assured that these children are going to die. Therefore, we must harvest the organs while they're still alive. And then they come back traumatized.
Okay.
I can give you the links to that later. You'd be surprised.
Yes. Okay. Let's change topics. Let's get on something's.
It's a bit gruesome, yes.
Yeah.
Something friendly.
Something friendly. Okay. Here's something friendly. Florida surgeon mistakes woman's healthy kidney for a tumor and removes it.
Well, okay, I'll give you one from my hometown, Mike. This is even better. He was called Dr. Death, Dr. Patel. He's never been charged or criminally charged. There's a place called Bundaberg in Australia. It's where they make the rum and the ginger beer. Funnily enough, you can get the ginger beer here for cheaper than you can in Bundaberg. No surprise there. That's Australia for you. But he used to leave scalpels in people, take out livers and everything, and he never got prosecuted. All he did was run away to Florida, so it's probably the same person.
Interesting. Okay. In Florida, do you think? I mean, malpractice lawsuit. That's gonna take. Obviously, it's a lottery ticket in the court, right?
Well, what they'll do, like they usually do, it's like with vaccination problems that are provable. If they can, claim damages, they always settle out of court, and any amount of money will do.
Yeah.
People have too lower margin when they think about getting money off these heartless, soulless corporations. And then on top of that, going to court, for sure, everyone gets paid. So everyone wins except you.
Okay. I got a comment here. How you doing, Mike Martins? I'm just walking around Eastern Sydney. I've been seeing so many for sale signs. It's unbelievable. Peter, add me on Skype if you want to join us on Wednesday night here, Western Seaboard time, for trends in the housing market. I'd like to have you on and get your insight on it. My Skype is Mike Martins 1980. Add me on Skype. We could be on Wednesday's show. My Wednesday, 6:30 Western Seaboard time. So Los Angeles time. So let's move on. Okay, Evan, you're gonna like this one, and I got this one just for you.
Is it an Alex Jones story?
AJ? No AJ tonight. We're not touching on AJ.
I missed out.
Yeah, no AJ tonight. Ready?
No. Yeah, okay. Fire away, Mike.
Queen offers to restore British rule over the United States.
I saw that one. What was it? How many years is it? Quite a lot. 160-year experiment, the Queen said, something to that effect. I'm sure she could do it with the stroke of a pen if she really wanted, but would people believe it? That's the question. I think it's a bit arrogant, but on top of that, the royal family's German anyway. So, they get away with whatever they want to say these days. What do you think about that, Mike? Do you think the Queen can get away with it?
I don't know what the Queen can get away with. I really don't know. I don't know what her...
Well, she's the largest landowner on Earth. She owns Rio Tinto. She owns large swaths of land in South America. She owns all of Australia. And it's vast amounts of land. I think the King of Thailand's in 4th place, or at least he used to be. He's dead now.
You're talking about
So
Elvis.
she's up there. No.
No,
The King of Thailand.
Elvis. We call him Elvis. When I was in Thailand for a few months, we can't say his name or can't mention him, so we just call him Elvis.
Le Majesté laws. That's a good choice, but if they ever caught on, you would have been in jail, Mike.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I'm not sure what to say about the Queen. I mean, she's still got the right to pen laws in by royal decree. Whether or not people believe them is another matter. I mean, they're going to have the Labour Party in Australia is going to spend an incredible amount of money having a ball for her. And they gave the former Prime Minister, Malcolm Turnbull, unlimited transport. Whatever that means, it means he can fly anywhere for free forever. And he's the first Prime Minister to ever get that, while everyone's, going into bankruptcy and jumping off buildings.
That's right.
So they really know how to look after their citizenry in Australia.
Yeah, so what do you think? I think because Canada has a lot of crown land, and we still have a general, or what do you call those generals? The governor generals here. We pay a ridiculous amount of tax money. When do you think Canada will be a free country?
Never, Mike. At this rate, it's going to be a vassal. Well, at least half of it's going to be a vassal for China, and the other half a vassal for France. Seems like we're going to have a lot of vassal states. And we're going back to indentured servitude rather quickly.
Mm-hmm.
People don't have enough money to buy anything these days. I mean, that lady from New Zealand, what did she say the butter was last time she was on? It was colossally expensive, like $10 a stick of butter.
That's right.
How's anyone going to afford that? That's absolutely ludicrous. And in Australia, it's no better. And if people can't afford to eat, they're either going to find other avenues to feed themselves, which will be immediately made illegal, because of course these control freaks can't help themselves. You can have no independence, you must be subject to them. You must kowtow to them, is what they say. It's not true, but that's what they say.
Yeah, it's a problem. Here in Canada, we have so much land, and we want to build something, like, for example, we want to build something here in Merritt, because there's this huge 260 acres.
You're going to do a tech park, right?
Well, no, not that. There's 260 acres that's parceled to the side. We can't touch it because it's Crown land.
Well, Crown Incorporated is established in the City of London, the place where the Queen needs permission and has to walk in on foot. So I wonder where the real power is in those independent states, like the City of London, like the Vatican. No one touches the Vatican.
Yeah.
All the war crimes there. The black, white Pope, Jesuit Pope. Very interesting times, Mike. But in Australia, you've got crown land everywhere. In a lot of South America, you've got the same thing. Mm-hmm. And people can't touch it. For what reason? Because they said so. That's essentially the reason. Mm-hmm. And people believe it.
Okay, I got the next story for you, and you're gonna like this one. This one's a doozy, okay? I kind of took a look. I kind of took a look at it myself a few weeks back, and I was gonna do the challenge myself, not my family, just me. I was gonna do the challenge for myself. Hold on, there's a lot of Walmart advertising popping up here. It's disgusting, is what it is.
Well, here's the thing: they killed your eBay, and now Walmart's advertising. What a coincidence!
Yeah, well, I didn't. I just decided. I decided to kill my eBay myself. I was just getting frustrated with it, and I was kind of just not feeling it anymore. Maybe in 5 years, I'll start selling my collectible stuff off.
Well, it'll be worth more, Mike. So think about it that way.
That's that way I'm thinking. Yeah, I don't care. I don't need it now. Maybe in 5 years, I might fall on tough times. And I'll be sitting on, you know...
On a pile of G.I. Joe gold, Mike.
Yep. Okay, ready? Okay, so I did take a look at this. I did want to do this. And something I really took a strong look at. Here goes. I'm going to read a bit of the article so you can get the gist of what's happening. We have something here called the Welfare Challenge here in British Columbia, where we have to eat off exactly what welfare recipients collect. Okay, it's a challenge. So it's called, so they have this huge banquet where a bunch of people come and they talk, and people go up to the microphone and talk about their situations, and people are asked to go on the welfare challenge. A lot of politicians try to go on it to show that it's workable and stuff. So it says welfare challenge canceled because of participants could face starvation. Now,
that sounds about right, Mike.
so the article says, could you live off $5.75 a week? Metro Vancouver's annual welfare food challenge isn't happening this year because the cost of rent leaves almost nothing for participants to spend on food. Now, last year, I was going to do it last year. It was $19 a week. But now, because the price is going up and everything, and just the cost of living is getting so expensive, it's $5.75 a week. I think people in Mexico spend more on food than that in a week. So, Evan, would you take the challenge? $5.75 for yourself, not your family, just you. Can you live off $5.75, let's say American, in a week?
Mike, I can do you one better. Remember when I sent you that very long blurb about my run-in with the Australian welfare once upon a time?
Mm-hmm.
I started with $90 for 2 weeks. Within a week, I had $40 for 2 weeks. Then they didn't like the look of me, and I had $10 for 2 weeks. And then after that, they tried to call me a liar, and I had the documents to prove it. I did an Alex Jones. I said, I've got the documents. Then it went to $2.17 a week, and after I just ignored them, it went to $1.07 for 2 weeks. And I survived off that, so I've already passed the challenge, Mike. I just didn't eat. That's the trick. Drink out of a river and don't eat, and probably die of dysentery or other curable diseases. Sounds like a joke to me, Mike. I mean, how much is a rent in Canada? $1,000?
Oh, it's more than that. If you're in the major cities, see, Canada's not like the United States. The problem is Canada has 2-3 major cities that we can work off. Like, for example, if I'm in New York, okay, let's say I'm living in Albany, New York, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not liking Albany. I'm going to move to Rochester, New York. I'm going to move to Buffalo, New York. I'm going to move to Manhattan. I'm going to move to the Bronx. I'm going to move to so many cities in New York you could live in, okay?
Oh, yes.
But there's more cities in New York than all of Canada has. And those cities in New York are within a couple of 100 miles of each other.
That's right, concentration.
In Canada, you got 3-4 cities, and they're thousands of miles apart from each other, so it's really hard to centralize yourself in other parts of Canada. You know what I'm saying? So, okay, so that's what's happening. A lot of people don't see that about Canada. They think, it's a big country. No! Florida, let's say I live in Miami. I get tired. I'm going to move to Port St. Lucie, another big city. I'm going to move to Fort Myers, another big city. I'm going to move to Tampa, another big city. I'm going to move to Orlando, another big city. I'm going to move to Tallahassee, another big city. I'm going to move to Jacksonville, another big city. So, in Florida alone, you have more than what Canada will ever have, I think, in the next 100 years.
Well, you just think about the population difference, Mike, 330-odd million in America, and Canada's a fraction of that.
Yeah.
Australia's a fraction of that again. And in Australia, I'm sure they were saying it at the height of the bubble, because I was there when they were saying it. They said there's a land shortage.
What?
I laughed, Mike.
What? A land shortage?
There's a land... Oh, well, remember Sam showed you a guided tour of Karratha when they were developing like crazy there in the mining boom. They said there's a land shortage. If you go to Google Street View and spin around, you'll see a barren wasteland, Mike. You won't see a land shortage, but people believed it.
Wow.
There was unlimited land as far as the eye could see, and you can't touch it because they said so. And that's the only reason people believe it. If they say so, people believe it for some reason. If you don't listen to them, funnily enough, they have to actually enforce what they're saying. If you just believe them, then you've given up your choice.
Oh, it's like that whole global warming thing.
Yeah, that was another one. Well, Florida should be underwater, right?
Yeah, it should be underwater. Yeah, 2 feet. Yeah, 2 feet. Okay, so guys, let me know in the comment section if you can live off $5.75 a week for food.
I did it, Mike. I passed the challenge.
Wow. Okay,
I
so
didn't last very long.
Hill Dog is back in the news. Hillary Clinton remains the Democrats' best chance to defeat Trump in 2020. What do you think, Evan?
Well, they got Bernie Sanders kept doing what the Italians do and change sides in order to get in. But Hillary Clinton, I mean, if she's not, what's the word, convulsing or, having bowel problems, she's their best bet, Mike. That tells you that Trump's probably going to win, unless he gets assassinated. Unless he's going to be Mr. Ronald Reagan. He has to get 2 assassination attempts, and then he can claim Reagan's record. But at the moment, that's their best bet. She's the most well-known person. The Clintons are always in politics. They've always been there. The entire time. When the Noriega thing was going on, where were they dropping the drugs and the money?
Yeah.
In Arkansas.
And you know what? The government doesn't like competition.
That's right. Well, that's Ron Paul's thing, isn't it? He's got that little placard on his desk. He says, don't steal, the government hates competition.
That's right.
The government these days has zero interest in looking after the interests of the people. They're quite literally just consolidating what little power they have for their little amount of time on Earth. They think they live forever, and their only example of that so far is that Chief Justice Ginsburg, who's still not dead, but is trying very hard to not die.
It's like, what was that? What was that guy? One of the guys that got 10 heart transplants.
You mean Dick Cheney? Is that who you mean?
No, one of the Rothschilds, one of the ones that died at 100 years old. They got like 10 heart transplants and didn't want to die.
Well, guess what? There's a guarantee when... what is it? How do you say it? Let me remember how to say this exactly. The illness that kills you will be your last one. Does that make sense, Mike?
Yes, it does.
And there's one death guaranteed per person. No one's beaten that system yet, no matter how hard they try.
Okay, people in the comment section very diligent saying David Rockefeller. It was David Rockefeller, 10 heart transplants.
Well, he's dead now, isn't he? I think he died last year.
I think he died because the 10th heart transplant, was good and all, but it's just he needed a tune-up, and I think he was too late on the tune-up. Timing belt broke.
I think he forgot to take out the oil filter. Timing belt needed changing.
Yeah.
What else? Distribution probably wasn't very good.
Yeah.
Vulcanize his tires. All of those things.
Exactly.
Gotta keep a well-oiled machine well-oiled.
Well, yeah. Okay, guy. Okay, this one's kind of bugging me, and I want to bring this one up. There's no really... it's just picking on somebody, but I want to pick on this guy. Police warning about convicted child abductor Randall living in Vancouver. So this guy did a 6-year stint in prison for kidnapping a 3-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
And he has sexual assault charges, and breaking and entering charges, and why do these people not do real hard time? Why are they out in 6 years and 3 years for good behavior?
Well, you see, Mike, because the system's designed to promote degeneracy. If you're an honest criminal, let's say you stole a loaf of bread, you'd get capital punishment. But if you're a sexual degenerate, one of them, one of their ilk, then you'll get the white glove treatment. Nice cell, PlayStation, Norwegian jail cell is what you end up with. For a lot of these people, they don't do any hard time or punishment. Same with politicians when they go to jail. We had the previous chief executive of Hong Kong go to jail for embezzlement, and it's basically a penthouse, 5-star hotel, buffet all the time, house arrest.
You know what that You know who that reminds me of, Evan?
Oh, do tell.
Pablo Emilio Escobar.
Ah, your favorite. Yes.
The guy who built his own prison. He was allowed to build his own prison and incarcerate himself in a mansion.
Well, that's a smart thing to do. If you're under house arrest with an army protecting you, you're doing all right. Oh, you don't have to leave the house. You're okay. Most people wouldn't want to leave the house anyway, would they? You see it run into a shopping trolley, get run over by a BMW. Mm-hmm. Fantastic thing to do, walking down the streets of cities these days. But there was another one, the Taiwanese president. He got in trouble for the same thing, but the Taiwanese I don't know if you've ever watched Taiwanese Parliament. It's great. They punch each other's lights out.
I love that.
Really yeah, it's fantastic. But the former president, Chen Shui-bian, at the time, he got caught stealing money, of course, buying football teams and all the rest of it. The usual thing they do. They always revert to type. But when they brought him out, every time they brought him out from prison, you should find a clip of it. It's pretty funny. He's shackled up and he's crawling along on his knees, and they keep kicking him. It's pretty funny. That would be a better way to punish people like that.
Yeah, public humiliation.
Yep, stocks and tomatoes. Stocks in the town square. Throw the tomatoes in their face and keep kicking them. They might learn that way. However, these people are beyond the law. These people are beyond money most of the time, and they are installed in order to control the public narrative. Now, here's a good one. If you do a facial recognition, this is interesting. If you look at Charles Manson, he's pretty famous. If you look at Charles Manson throughout the years, his face changes. They keep replacing the actor who does Charles Manson. And the last one they did before they basically got rid of Charles Manson, if you do a facial recognition of George Bush Jr. and Charles Manson, you'll get a 99% match, which is very interesting.
Wow.
And he talks like George Bush. Yeah, you'd be surprised what they do. And there's loads of doubles like that. They seem to have different acting roles when they're on their downtime, these horrible, vaporous people. But try it. It's very interesting.
It's phenomenal. It's just absolutely phenomenal. Okay.
Well, it shows, Mike, before you go on, it shows how deep the web is. You know, a lot of people are at the surface level looking at what the different colours are doing or what the different teams are doing. It goes a lot deeper, and they're very well organised. Very well organised.
So there's a very big hierarchy above the ones we see.
Yes. Well, the ones we see are not the ones in control. That's for sure. So when you see Trump doing something, there'll be many people behind Trump, and they will have veto power over his executive decisions. If the photo says eat pizza, then he will eat pizza. If it says KFC, he'll be smiling in Air Force One with a bucket of chicken.
Right.
Like he did the photo of that. He looked so happy.
Yeah, I saw that, but I think it was Kentucky Fried Chicken. Okay, next. Okay, would you trust this? UK's first robot-assisted heart valve surgery results in a patient's death.
So would I trust it to kill me? Yes. Would I trust it to save me? No. Mechanical error, Mike. And if they don't like you, whoops, it's just a mechanical error. No liability. You can't sue a robot, can you?
No, you can't. You can't sue a robot. No. Okay, let's move on.
So the more automation, Mike, they do, and they do this with governmental systems, they make it all automated. So you can't talk to an actual person to get an answer. You've got to rely on a system. And when you do get to talk to an actual person, they say, oh, please refer to our website. Please refer to our system that doesn't work. That's why you called us anyway. You've got that in Canada. Australia is very bad for that. We are they're the worst bureaucracy I can think of.
So, okay, let's move on to this next one. I got a parliament member from the Firmino party in Mozambique actually call me directly at like 2 in the morning, and in Portuguese, of course, and he told me that he sent me a link to an article, and he wanted me to put it on my fan page on Facebook, and he wanted me to put it on my YouTube channel. And I got the article here. China's search for sand is destroying Mozambique's pristine beaches. I already put it up on my YouTube channel in Portuguese. I went over the articles, and I discussed how, basically, the video's been taken down 3 times already.
Does not surprise me. But then again, it's not just China, is it? Singapore does the sand smuggling. There's a very good documentary called Sand Smugglers, where they take a container ship, I think I've mentioned this before, and they pump water down into this tube towards the beach, and it obviously emulsifies and liquefies the sand with the water, and then they vacuum it up into their ships miles away. And that's what the Chinese will be doing. They'll have ships offshore sucking away the beaches, and then you're left with bare rock. You end up with no topsoil, and it kills the ecology, obviously.
Yes, it does. It creates mass erosion, too. Mass erosion.
Mass erosion, and then you end up with the silt and sludge all around your beaches instead of sand. Sand is a fantastic water filter.
Yes, it is.
And It's interesting how it's all around the edge of the ocean. But yeah, if they're just turning it into concrete for their cheap, paddle pop stick style apartments, they're churning out at a rapid rate, which collapse even more rapidly, then it's not being put to good use, is it?
Yes, no, and in the ecosystem there in Mozambique, the gentleman was telling me that it's really out of control. And he also offered me a job working for the Federalize party, helping in Mozambique if I wanted to relocate my family there. And I said, no, not for the time being, until my kids get older, maybe. But no. It's not as bad. When people think of Africa, they always think of, no, it's not. When you're in the big capital cities, it's not as bad as they think. You know what I'm saying?
Unless it's Johannesburg, Mike.
Well, no, that's different. That's different. That's English. That's English Africa. I'm talking Portuguese Africa.
True. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's got good infrastructure. Even after they tried to ruin it, it's still got good infrastructure.
The Portuguese did a good. The Portuguese did a good job building those countries. So, you never. Yeah. Okay. Listen to what's happening. Hamilton woman shocked and disgusted to find a live mouse in her grocery store bread. What the hell is going on?
Well, I've seen human-sized mice eating bread too, Mike, when they can't afford to eat. And you'll just see all these bite marks out of the bread, and you'll go, "What's going on? What's going on? Are there vermin here?" And actually, it's simply people eating the bread. But if you got a mouse there, that's nothing new. Because I don't know if you know, KFC had numerous scandals where they deep-fried rats, chicken heads, all sorts. They're not keeping the standards, Mike. I doubt they even hire cleaners.
Yeah.
A lot of these places, they've got to cut costs, right? They've got to cut, and leave only the management team there until the company collapses. And the managers go, I don't know what happened. I kept yelling, and nothing got done.
Okay, I'm going to close some of these articles that I had here open that we're discussing store closures across North America. And
there'd be no shortage of that, Mike. Despite this employment boom, it seems a lot of jobs are disappearing. How can that?
Middle class is disappearing.
That's right. You'll get government jobs, and they'll count as part of the numbers like they always do. And then you go, hold on, where are the actual jobs for me? And they say, well, terribly sorry, we've taken those away.
Yeah, it's a private
government jobs.
But private sector jobs are the key, right?
Well, that's what happened to Greece. That's why Greece collapsed. Everyone was all comfortable with their government guaranteed jobs, right?
Right.
And then nothing got done, and they went into incredible debt through their decadence, and people are selling their islands off for them without their permission.
Yeah.
So, isn't that nice? The island of Minos, I think it was on sale, and the Parthenon also. A lot of things are on sale. Everything must go.
Yeah, clearance. I think China will buy it.
Well, I don't know. China wasn't particularly interested in Greece, which is interesting. They seem to be more keen on destroying Africa at the moment.
Yeah. That's their. Yeah.
That's why Yemen's getting bombed, I'm guessing, to make way for a Chinese railroad. Then you can transplant your armies across the world. And if Russia does the Alaska to Russia train line, then you've got total power across the world except for Australia. That's really the only exception.
Before we kick off into this, I'm going to ask, I got this one question. Australia is like an island. It's a huge continent island. But how do they get so much immigration in there if there's no way to get there? I mean, you could fly in. I know you could fly in. But if you're a refugee and you could barely afford to eat and you're eating scraps and you're wearing torn, tattered clothing and you're having a tough time migrating to the country to the east of you or west of you, how the heck are they getting into Australia?
Well, they pay top dollar to get there, either via boats. They come down from Indonesia via the smugglers, and then the boats get scuttled and they all die. They're the sad stories, you see, but most of them just fly in on a tourist visa and say, you can't deport me, I'm a refugee now. That's what they do in Hong Kong too. The Indians used to come over, they'd fly in, first class, gold shoes, gold watch, gold Ray-Bans, gold aviators. They'd land and they'd say, I've got no money, I'm a refugee. Hong Kong changed their policy, of course, and said, see you later. But the ones that are in are already in, unfortunately, and we had a bit of an influx of those Syrians too. As I mentioned before, they seem to keep to themselves these days, trying to remain undetected, because once you detect a verminous outbreak, you usually stomp it out, Mike. You don't leave it to get in your bread like you do in Canada or America.
Okay, so death penalty. Are you for the death penalty? I'm 100% for the death penalty. And if people start thinking their life's on the line, I think they're going to think twice. You know how many people don't break into homes when they see "Beware of Dog" sign, and even though you don't have a dog in the house, they see a "Beware of Dog" sign. It's almost like a psychological thing. Do you think crime would go down if the death penalty was right across the board?
I'd put it this way, Mike. Now that we don't have Christian countries anymore, funnily enough, the crime goes up. Once you've got secularism, anything goes. And by doing that, you've increased the crime. People didn't used to have to lock their doors. People didn't used to, have to have meat grinders at their front door.
Okay.
But that sort of thing, I was just being distracted by a pianist, that's all. A pianist, someone who plays a piano, just in case anyone was curious. But as I was saying, because we've lost the Christian culture, right?
Yeah.
We don't have people regulating themselves. You need a government to do it to keep you safe. So death penalty, not necessary. China is making all these islands. Why not just stick them there?
Yeah.
Keep them in exile. That'd work even better, wouldn't it? And then the sand would be going to good use. Mozambique doesn't need to complain anymore, as long as they're making these prison islands somewhere, and as long as the people going there are justifiably put there, that'd be far better. That would be a fate worse than death. So they might reflect on their actions and become productive members of whatever society they are reintroduced into after all that arduous torture and torment on an island somewhere. If at all, I wouldn't even bring them back. Because I'm nice like that, Mike.
Yeah.
That would be better than the death penalty. They can, like they're doing in America. That's the prison system, isn't it? They pay for their own enslavement, and it's an economic boom, having all these prisoners. The problem is, how do you qualify? And the government decides that, and I'm sure I would qualify, because I'm a heterosexual white male. So, but if I was a degenerate pedophile, I'd probably, run for office or something like that, become the president of a country somewhere. But because I'm not, I'd probably end up on one of those islands, Mike. That's the problem. The people controlling the reins of power are not your friends. Not at all.
That's
So
right.
even if we had this prison system, what would it matter? You would get sent there, not the people you want. So you could go up to your politician, Mike, and you say, I want these islands. And they say, sure thing, buddy, and they build them for you. And then you're on that island. You got what you wanted. Tragically, it was built for you.
Imprisonment.
Imprisonment.
Okay, so I got a few articles here I'm going to go through real quick with you on the phone, if that's okay.
Oh, sure.
Embattled high street retails call for help as closures soar. Guys, remember today's topic is closures. So pubs, fashion outlets, and real estate agents plummeting among 24,205 closures recorded for the first 6 months of this year. This is a new article published 2 days ago. And actually yesterday, and store closures increased nearly 17%, 24,205 across towns and cities. Guys, and this is in England, in the UK. The UK's battered streets after new data showed the number of shops and pubs and restaurants lying empty has soared more than 4,400 in the first 6 months of this year. Let's move on.
Oh, did you want me to comment, Mike?
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Because I have a few articles at the beginning of the show that's not related to what the topic is, and then I go on topic and discuss closures. So go ahead. What's going on?
Well, let's go into closures first. Most businesses run on the impossible model of 10% growth every year, which is mathematically impossible because someone has to lose. Right? Rent gougers who rent retail space to you do exactly the same thing. They expect a fixed percentage of growth, and then you've got an exponential equation. 7% is 10 years for doubling, and 10% is about 7 years for doubling. So it physically can't happen, you know? You physically can't have that much money generated out of nothing unless they print it for no reason, or some of Pablo's money gets dug up in Central America. That's about the only way you're going to create money these days. So it's not a surprise, especially when they're turning the screws. In London right now, you've got an army of homeless on the streets and all these empty houses. Sydney will be the same. Anywhere like that will be the same. So, of course, businesses can't survive. They don't have customers, and the rent's going up. That's the old 1-2 punch, Mike. You're done for. No compassion whatsoever. These people are desperate to keep their mortgages afloat, whether or not it's the rent gougers or even the people running these businesses. Everyone's in debt. Who do we pay it all back to? That is the mystery question.
That is the mystery question. Yeah, do we play to the Decepticons? Remember I said the world's, $82 trillion in debt? Who do we owe it to, the Decepticons?
Oh, well, the thing is, by using debt as a tool like this, because money is a tool, but now money is worshipped instead. You know, they worship money. Money has become the ruler of people's lives. By doing that, you're worshipping the wrong thing, so you're doomed to fail. If you worship the almighty dollar, as so many people do, you've got to do the right thing and hold on to the truth. Most people don't. They say, oh, I can buy that later, you know. So that could be part of the problem. That's the same thing, though. The Christian ethic is gone, even though there's a bit of a resurgence of it these days when people are realizing these monsters are terrible and we have to stop them. But it's not our job to stop them ultimately, Mike. Revelation says very plainly, he will touch the Mount of Olives and kaboom. That's the day done. Time has finished.
That's right.
And their judgment will come.
Exactly. Now, new research from PCW and local data company reveals high street stores have been closing at a rate of 14 stores a day in the first half in 2018. This is in London, people. 14 stores a day are closing in the first half of 2018. So the numbers are coming in. Let's...
well, here's the thing, Mike. If you have the numbers there, I guarantee you it won't be the chain stores that are closing. It'll be all the small businesses who have barely been scraping by, being responsible with their money and being squeezed out so we can have more chain stores. Did you ever watch that film Idiocracy, Mike?
Yes.
Where Costco became the only store left. It's going to end up like that if the trend continues.
Yeah.
You're going to have a super monopoly, and then what can you do?
We'll put tariffs on the Chinese stuff.
But then China will have a super monopoly, and then they merge the two. Then what are you going to do? Just keep going until you've got one monopoly, Mike.
You know what? You know what I'll do then?
Okay, tell me, Mike.
I'll join the Decepticons.
Good. Then you'll get all that money, and you'll be all right.
Okay,
Decepticon are you, Mike, before we continue? Which one do you think you are, out of curiosity?
Transformer or Decepticons?
Yeah, which Decepticon do you think suits you the best?
Oh, Starstream, or the one with the tape recorder, Soundwave.
Yeah, good choice. All right, just checking. What about the comments? People in the comments, which Transformer do you think you are? Also, my brother is pretty much the unspoken hero of Transformers when it comes to animation. You should check his channel out sometime.
Yes, what's it called?
Type in Freddery, F-R-E-D-D-E-R-Y. And if you type that in, you'll get a red face sort of logo. Click on that. He gets hundreds of thousands of views. He's just very lazy. I've got him working for me at the moment, doing something productive. Hopefully he turns his life around.
Can you leave a link in the comments before we end the transmission there so people could click on it?
Yeah, sure. I'll do that after we hang up, Mike. I'll put it there right away.
Okay. All right. New Look may lose more than 120 UK stores. So I guess New Look is just some, a high-end fashion thing. They're losing all their stores. And you know what's going to happen? And just like the housing sector, just like the housing crisis, the luxury properties start defaulting, luxury properties start sitting empty, and they sit on the market for hundreds of days, and nobody wants the luxury properties. Same thing's going to happen. Luxury clothing, middle class can't afford that. luxury clothing goes first before anything else, just like anything luxury in the housing market. What do you think?
Anything that's unessential should go first, usually. That's usually how it goes.
So you were looking at the Maslow's hierarchy of needs and wants, right?
That's right. What do you need, Mike? Food and water.
And what do you want?
More...
And what do you want? A Lamborghini.
I want a Lamborghini, Mike. Not a Volkswagen, please.
Yeah. Okay.
Let me put that link in the chat for you, Mike. There we go. This will be an example for everybody. I'll just press that button and I'll go to your chat. Just so everyone knows, before I forget, Mike, because you know how forgetful I am. I forget everything all the time.
Yeah.
All the time, every minute of every day. I'm very forgetful. That's why I can talk about anything, Mike. I'm very forgetful.
High Street in turmoil. Again, 14 shops disappear every day. In-home leisure is blamed for retail crisis. New store openings in the first half of the year was down by a third, says PCW. Large number of store closing. High streets are losing 14 a day. Report pins blame on rising popularity in home leisure. BDO report confirms high street gloom with sales falling again in October. So they're blaming the housing crisis on this.
Well, what else are they going to blame, Mike? That's my question. Who else can they blame? They're going to blame the people who are being duped into debt. It's the only person they can blame. They're going to blame you. It's not their fault all of a sudden when they cause the problem.
Yep.
Lots of... How did my debt create the problem, right?
That's right. It's like musical chairs.
How come you... well, here's the thing. Every time in musical chairs you lose a chair, don't you? And
That's
we're
right.
running out of chairs, Mike.
That's right. Okay, here we...
Then we'll have... Yes, carry on, Mike.
Could the struggling retail sector be the banks? Next big problem. RBA thinks so. This is coming out of Australia. So I got a logo here. The Reserve Bank posed an interesting question last week. Are Australia banks and therefore the broader economy vulnerable to a shaky retail sector? What's going on?
The answer is yes, Mike. Bank exposure to this mortgage crisis, as they call it, is over 60%, Mike. You know, in Hong Kong, the banks have a 10% exposure. That's at least 6 times as much exposure. So if all these mortgages, chain reaction in a domino effect, everything's going to collapse rather quickly. And I imagine there'll be a country or two swooping in to steal up all our assets. So we end up with the Jamaica model. We don't own anything except the water, and even then you're not allowed to fish in that. But everyone else is. You know, these double standards. You know, what's the expression? It's good for me, but it's not good for thee. That double standard.
Yes, okay, it's like I remember I had a couple of employees. I'm trying to explain something to them. They're all yes men nodding their heads, and I'm like telling them, guys, I know you speak English, but do you understand English? 2 different concepts.
And at that point, Mike, they all said yes.
A bunch of yes men.
Last people you want in the world are people who say yes all the time, Mike.
Yes men,
absolutely useless.
Yep, yes men. Just follow the status quo. Please, sir, can I have another?
They don't even do that, Mike. They just nod furiously and nothing gets done. They're really good at nodding, but you don't hire people to nod at you. You hire people to do work, usually. But a lot of these people, they hope that if they nod, they are totally invisible. But you can see them nodding. I don't think their trick's very effective.
So, let's move on.
Yeah.
Falling house prices now hitting retail sales. This is coming out of November. Coming out of Australia, If retailers were not in enough strife already, it now appears falling house prices have joined the low wage price growth as well as declining household savings in their increasingly large list of worries.
Well, I've got a question for you, Mike. If we've got this abundance of resources and we've got the technology to use and extract these resources now, why is everything so expensive?
Yeah, it's not like we're extracting moon rocks to build like the stuff.
Well, on top of that, Mike, when you take it out, you've got it, right? You can reuse it. It's not like it disappears. And they say, oh, the resources are running out. Oh, where are they going? Where are they running to, these resources? It's as if they can throw a slogan at you and people will start believing it.
I believe we're maybe having a secret deal with the Decepticons and selling our resources off to them to build these Energon cubes.
Well, that's the only thing they make, isn't it? Energon cubes. I guess everything can be converted into Energon cubes, and then they'll be back to Cybertron soon enough.
Yeah.
We'll be free of them. That's the plan, anyway.
So now, I don't know why, Evan, but I got this urge to watch Transformers now. I don't know why. But
okay, I did send you that link for my brother's channel. That's the best Transformers show in the world.
Did you put it in the comments? Did you put it in the comments?
I did. I did. I'll ask Ibenkyo if he's listening.
Oh, it's right here. Right here. I got it right here. It's open. It's on screen right now. People, you can see it. This is Evan's brother. A two-time...
I write them. I write the show. We redo Transformers, make them funny again.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've watched the recent Transformers. It's called Cyberverse. It would bore the life out of you.
Wait a minute. You're talking about... Why am I not... I subscribed to this channel. When you sent me the link, I subscribed and I watched videos, and now it's telling me to subscribe now.
Well, you know, YouTube has been doing that recently with their, they color your subscribers, and I don't know what it's based off yet. It's probably very similar to the Magic the Gathering Arena Shuffler, where it makes no sense whatsoever.
Yeah, it does. That's a whole entire show for another day.
Yeah. Well, we figured out why it does that too, Mike, but that is another show.
Yeah, that's we need at least a couple of hours just to lay out the algorithms on that. So.
Oh yes.
So there's your brother there.
There he is.
Guys, don't forget to subscribe. He's got some pretty good videos here. I don't want it to copy mine, but it's really good. And he does all this work. And Evan, you script this for him?
I script the jokes. I am the funny guy. Yes.
Well, yeah, you know, listening to your voice and your calmness and ease of discussion, I would have never thought of you as a comedian.
Oh, shocking, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I need... Hold on, Mike. I figured out why I'm not good at jokes anymore. I need to drink some brain force. Have you got any there? You got super male vitality. Have you got any brain force?
No, I got the one...
Post is shut down, so you can't ship it to me. Very sad, Mike.
What you did AJ is the InfoWars page down, the main one?
It was for a while. I don't know if they're getting DDoSed or the what do you call it? Not the servers. I think they are servers. Or the hosting site. Because you've got to remember the internet's only owned by a few hosting sites, and like GoDaddy and places like that. If they just drop him, then he's got nowhere to stand. He can't make his own hosting site. That's all under government license and mandate. So he'll be totally gone then, and they'll have to keep popping up like whack-a-mole for them to smash them down. Until, of course, people give up on the monopolies. Like a good example is the Kill Stream. I don't know if anyone watches the Kill Stream here. I'm occasionally listening to it, but they got destroyed. And on free speech, they have a, you call it right-wing commentary show, and they did a stream for charity, $27,000 they earned. And someone sent a nasty super chat, as in YouTube thought it was politically incorrect. Then what they did, they killed their channel immediately without any notice or anything, totally destroyed their channel, the largest watched stream site on YouTube, and they even made the money that was going to children get refunded. So the money going to kids with cancer got refunded. There's a hashtag on Twitter. I have heard from a few blue birds that were talking to me earlier that there was a hashtag going, Wall Street Journal kills kids. It's a good hashtag because they're the ones who killed them. And that's happening more and more on YouTube. So far, Mike, you're under the radar.
Well, one, I'm a nobody, and two, who would take advice from a person like me anyway? So, like, or who would even listen to what I have to say? So, I guess they're kind of framing me as like how they frame Portugal. When people think of Portugal, they're like, Portugal? Ugh. So they think of it like that, where it's like there's nothing there, there's nothing to immigrate there to, there's nothing to see there. It's gee, Portugal. So they look at Mike. Oh, that's just Mike Martins. He's just some weird, odd guy. No one even listens to what he has to say.
But Mike, you've made a dangerous assumption. Most people would say, Portugal? What's that? Can I eat it? That's
Yes.
what most people would say.
Yeah, or is it a province of Spain? So it's like that. They think they look at me like that, like I'm like the outside guy that doesn't have nothing to do with anything. And guys, I'm gonna leave a plug for my handheld junkie, guys. Can you please? I'm putting up my video game reviews here. You don't have to ring the bell on this. You don't have to watch anything. I just need to get it up to 1,000 subs, hopefully, if God permits. Because this does really well. If I could get, I've worked really hard. Evan, can you tell them how hard I worked on this channel? You could tell by all the layering and all the work. Can you tell them how hard I've worked on this, even though just by looking at the videos?
Oh, jeez, Mike, I've got to thumb up every single video. Okay, yes. No, you do a very good job, Mike. People don't appreciate good work. So don't worry about it. People will come. People who enjoy quality commentary and obscure games, because they're not very common games. There's no Mario Odyssey or Sonic the Hedgehog to be found. It's all the interesting stuff that you wouldn't necessarily find. So it's very good. We were on the stream earlier, thank you, and Anon was on the stream. We're having this really good conversation while the show reel played. But Mike didn't see it, sadly. So
well, you guys went live?
No, when you were live, we were on there. We tried to spring it on you, and you totally ignored us. We were very sad.
No, it's not.
Snoozing.
It's not that I totally ignored you guys. It's just I didn't know what was going on, right? I just heard somebody ring, and then I picked it up, and they hung up, right? So.
Oh, true.
Yeah. So
that's all right, Mike. It's all good. It's good that you're doing different things. You probably want to split them into different channels anyway, because people come here and they say, "Oh no, Persona 4. That's lame. I want to hear about how my life's being ruined by my mortgage."
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
I want to know how much food I can't eat anymore. I don't want to learn about JRPGs.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
Yeah, so if you guys could subscribe to the Handheld Junkie, guys, it's right here. It's called Handheld Junkie. I am a junkie when it comes to handheld devices. This is the channel. I'll leave a link again in the bottom. In the comments there. Guys, please subscribe to this channel. I really want to grow it, because once I get enough following, then other people will follow. They jump on the bandwagon type of thing. But I need
exponential growth.
Yeah, I need my people. I need you guys to help me out on this. So if you want to support me in that way at least, because this channel will never get shut down, because there's no reason for it. I'm using all my own content. So there's absolutely no way. It's all royalty-free music, my own content, my own screen grabs, my own film, my own ugly mug. There's nothing. There's no way. You know what I'm saying?
Well, here's the other thing, Mike. It's your own theme song, too.
Well, I have a theme song for my channel.
That's right. That's your intellectual property, Mike. You should start going around taking people down like everybody else does.
No, I wouldn't do so. I would never do. I don't care. You know what? I had a fan visit me today at the shop that was traveling through the province, and they were going on their way to Alberta, and they made a stop in Merritt just for me, and they told me that you're the type of guy that everybody's your friend until they screw around with you. And then I'm like, yeah, that's kind of how it works for a lot of people. It's like, no, but I've been standing here talking to you for 20 minutes, and it's like I've known you all my life. I do watch your channel, but you just seem like such a easy to get along guy, easy to get along with in person, and so easy, just an easy guy to sit down and chat and talk, and you know what it is, Evan? It's just I just don't have anything to hide. You know what I'm saying?
That's the thing. You hide nothing, Mike. So it's plain to see, and people find that very refreshing.
Yeah, and everybody's my friend until somebody, I don't go off on an entire culture, or religion, or creed, or when I just kind of take them off my radar or just cut them off. You know what I'm saying?
What about your bestest friend in the whole wide world, Mike? Diane Bronson? Did you cut her off yet?
Oh, Diane Bronson, may she rest in peace. We can't find her. We don't even know where she's at. Yeah, we can't find her on Facebook anymore. Montreal's going to crash and burn now that they have no connection to Merritt. Oh,
that's right.
Yeah.
They've lost their carrier pigeon, must have got shot in transit or something.
Yeah, poor Diane Bronson. I hope she's okay. I hope she could weather this. I hope Montreal could weather this problem, you know.
I know what happened to her. She took the welfare challenge and she never made it.
That's so good. You know, that's such a good one. You tell people come and like, what happened to her? Well, she took the welfare challenge and she didn't make it. And they're just like, what's the welfare challenge? And send them to the link of the article we read, and they'll be like, wow, that's for real. I was like, yeah.
I said, try it. It's fun.
Okay, I got another article.
Housing price.
How fashion is now unfashionable as shopping strips struggle to gain tenants.
Well, fashion, Mike, what does that even mean? Because I'm not a woman, so I can never understand why adding extra bits that do nothing is called fashion, you know. I like things with pockets that work and waterproof and won't break immediately after I put it in the washing machine. So a lot of this fashion is chasing a trend that isn't there. And on top of that, you're totally reliant on people's subjective reasoning. You might not get their taste today. Therefore, you're out of business. I mean, how can you please everybody? That's fashion.
You know when I think of fashion, you know what comes to mind all the time?
Is it the Nazis, Mike? Fascism, fashion?
No, not even close.
I missed out.
Pirates.
How so?
Because pirates were the first to use earrings, tattoos. They were the first to use leggings, stockings, specific stockings. The pirates actually were pirates. They were scavengers, and they learned how to survive from dying from, what do you call that? Scurvy and stuff.
Scurvy.
Yeah, so they learned. They adjusted to the land. They wanted to give that fierce tribal look, but they wanted to modernize that tribal look with gold earrings and cutting limbs off so they could look more fierce and more dangerous. You know what I'm saying? I think the pirates...
Oh, hold on, Mike. I've got a good one for you. You can cut your limbs off these days, particularly the genitals and breasts, and you get a month paid leave if you work in a bank in Australia. Did you look at that one? The transgender leave is the new push, because they just weren't getting enough free stuff already, so they get a month paid leave if they're transitioning, and they get a year unpaid leave if they're transitioning too. Isn't that nice?
Wow, it's
modern day pirates, Mike.
Modern day pirate. Yeah, everybody. I think you know, I don't know where things are headed, to be honest, Evan. I really don't know. It's like, you know, 20, 30 years ago, you always forecasted things to get better the next year, or better the next decade, or better with the next governing power, or better with the... All we're seeing is more government, less freedom, and more socialized crap.
Well, here's how I would do it, Mike. The only thing I can guarantee is what I do, and if I continue to get better, I can help other people to continue to get better. You disregard these horrible people. They're trying to drag you down. Diane Bronson was flying across to try and, kamikaze your shop, and now she's, didn't have enough welfare, and now she's done for. Is that the life you want, Mike? A carrier pigeon dying in the snow?
No.
That's right. So if you think about it, if you can improve yourself, don't worry about the rest of it. You do it as good as you can. You don't compromise. You have integrity. And then people around you will see that. That's why when they come into the shop, Mike, they say, I've known you forever. You're an open book. It is plain to see your character. That kind of thing. They come in and they see that, and you're an example to them. You inspire people. Suddenly you've got a lot of people inspired the same way, doing good all over the world. And that's the only way you're going to turn the tide, Mike. You can't wait for the government to do it for you. Because guaranteed every time you do that, you end up with less and less freedom. And
more, how do you say it's, everything starts to slow down with more government. Things start to slow down and...
There's a machine, it's called a Ruth Goldberg machine. Looks like that in the end, where it's a machine that looks really busy, but it does nothing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna see if I can get Peter Oetizinger on the show one time. He talks a lot about he talks a lot about precious metals, and I want him to, because I've done silver stacking, so I'll do some. I'll show you guys physically some of my silver and some of the stuff I invested in, and bars and stuff, and I want to have him on the show to discuss silver and gold stacking. And
so you got to be careful, Mike. If you stack the gold 4 up and 4 across, and you put the last piece in, you get a Tetris. Your silver's gone. You got to be careful.
Yeah, because it's gonna crash, right?
Oh no, just the Tetris. You get a Tetris, all your blocks disappear.
Yeah, you get a crash. The blocks crash and then they disappear.
Oh, very good, very good. Yeah, but he would be a good guest. He seems very switched on, nice guy, from what I've heard. And I mean, we should get more people on who are nice people.
We need to get Lord Humongous on, because Lord Humongous could give us an insight on survival and surviving out in the wilderness and living off grid. I think he's an expert when it comes to that.
Are you doing the welfare challenge, Lord Humongous?
Yeah, Lord Humongous, are you doing the welfare challenge? We'd like to know. Are you
doing? If he's out in the wilderness, that's the only place things are cheap.
Yeah.
Cheap is free.
Yeah. So, yeah, you know, I don't know, like, what kind of advice? I mean, there's only so much. You know what? My main advice, or my main thing, or the only thing that I could tell people that could make any sense right now, that could make any ethical sense right now, is just to love each other, love your neighbor, love your employees. Yeah, they talk bad about you in the back room. Love them. Love your spouse.
I'll go one better, Mark, because biblically there are 2 greatest commandments: love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, body, and soul, and the other one is love your neighbor like you love yourself. If you do all that, nothing can go wrong, right?
That's right. That's right. It's
integrity and strength.
That's true. That's 100% right. Okay, Evan, I'm gonna let you go before I close the show off, and I appreciate you coming on and giving us an insight on what you think is going on. If you have time next week, we'll have you on next week with a whole slew of articles. I kind of want to not touch on false flags and
it can get you in a lot of trouble these days, Mike, touching on false flags, so you got to be careful.
But people on this channel already know. People that watch this channel, we know.
Well, hold on, Mike, I've got a trick. Every time you talk about a news story that's a false flag, all you have to do is wink. Just start winking at the camera and everyone will know, all right?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, Evan. God bless you.
Pleasure, Mike. Have a good night, eh?
Okay. So that was Evan from Hong Kong, our truth analyst for our channel. We're going to try and get our financial analyst on the show sometime, maybe Wednesday, or not Wednesday because it's trends in the housing market, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday. I want to get our Andrew, our economist, on the show next week to see what he could tell us about what's happening in the markets and stock markets. Yeah, so we want to try and keep this channel open for as long as possible, if that's okay. You know, we really want to, keep this little group we have going on here, you know. And the only thing, my advice I could give you is just love everybody. Stop looking at all the negativity you see in each person. You know, just look at the positive, you know. Oh, look, he's in good spirits today. Hi, you look happy today. Good for you. I'm happy for you, you know? You know, just let's start loving each other, guys, for real. eBankU, send me a big hug. Guys, don't forget to tip the tip jar. $1 a month. Yeah, if I get everyone to donate $1 a month on PayPal, that would be good. And shout outs to everyone that's been sending me donations. That means a lot. Guys, here's my handheld junkie again, guys. You don't have to ring the bell. It's my video game channel. I really want to get this off the ground. I really do a lot of work on this. I really take my time putting this thing together. It will get views eventually, and I will build viewership on it, and I just review handheld systems, and there's about 70 videos, and they're not bad. Look at this. They're not bad at all. I really take my time to, like I said, to throw this stuff together and make it worthwhile watching. And, you know. Anyways, guys, store closures. I want to thank everyone for calling in. I want, someone's asking if they could camp out at the house. Well, winter's approaching, so it won't be easy to camp out. Trust me, it won't be easy to camp out. Gene is saying, apparently here in Australia is something that is going on to replace the banking lending. Yeah, we're covering that on the Royal Commission and all that stuff that's been going on. Then eBank, you saying Mike is already doing the welfare challenge through his tip jar. No, that money that through that tip jar, I use it for family stuff we need here in the house. I bought some thermal clothing with it. I got my man Peter. My man Peter sent me a bunch of money, so I spent that money on thermal inner clothing for me to wear at the shop. I bought like a week's like a whole 5 days worth of clothing. So Peter's saying, Mike, did you see what happened in Melbourne on Friday? Yes, I did. And I really want to avoid that kind of discussion here because they're just gonna flip the switch, guys. They're gonna flip the switch. That's what they're just shutting me down. So unless there's another, like, I know BitChute, I'm still trying to get an account on there. I've already asked them 3 times. I sent them a link to my existing YouTube channel. I sent them a link of my Facebook fan page. I got almost 120,000 fans on my Facebook fan page. They won't, I don't know. I don't know what to do. So, you know. And someone says, the money you could give away to strangers can go to your kids instead. And someone says, okay, understood, man. I would stop asking it. Obvious false flag, though. Yeah, for sure. No, there's nothing wrong with asking, guys. Ask what you want to ask. Don't worry about it. It's just, we just got to be really, 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 really be careful. It's the flip of a switch. That's all it is. That's all we are too. Right now, all these things, we should be grateful that we're allowed to do this right now. Where people call in, we talk, blah, blah, blah. Someone's saying, is PayPal the best payment method for you? Yeah, it's the easiest. PayPal's the easiest for me because it's already hooked up to my accounts. I don't have to worry. It's there. I get a notification, and if I need it, you know. But yeah. Yeah. So, guys, oil got slammed. Yep. I picked up a little bit of more oil this week. Oil went down horrifically. I still think oil's severely undervalued. I really think it is. I think oil... Tech companies have no value. Tech companies are retail space. Office space for a retail company. Office space for a tech company is what they have. But oil companies, they have collateral. They have tractors. They own land. They have drilling equipment. They have employees. They have... Oil companies are severely undervalued. I'm picking up $2 stocks that were valued once at $85 in 2013. So I'm picking them up for $2, $3 a share. I don't care. They're severely undervalued. So Peter's saying, what about silver undervalued? I just keep buying. Yeah, silver is a very interesting commodity because the amount of silver that was on the planet Earth in 1890 to in comparison what we have on Earth today is a lot less than what we had in actual physicality in 1890. And what that means to me is that there's more paper silver certificates in circulation than there is actual physical silver. Anyways, guys, Buy low, sell high. End of message. Yeah, that's what Joe's saying right there. Oil got slammed. I buy collectible coins, though. They go way up more than bullion. Yeah, if the rarities and stuff. Yeah, yeah, you know, it's... We got to come together again, guys. Wednesday night, I might have our economist, our financial analyst on the phone, maybe Monday or Tuesday, my time, to go over what's going on. And then Wednesday, we'll have... Mike in the trends in the housing market. So, guys, share me out there. Just share it. Share my stuff. Tweet it out, please. Get me out there. There's no way this channel is going to grow without that. And please, again, I'll leave a link again. Please subscribe to my handheld junkie. It's important because it's my little only platform that exists that basically won't. I don't think would be erased. And don't forget to subscribe to. Ferdinand McHannon. This is Evan's brother making these videos, and he does a really good job making these things. And they're all jokes, and Evan is making the jokes on here. Evan actually scripts these things, and they're all jokes, and they're funny. And I remember seeing this episode, by the way. Anyways, guys, logging off. No video. Everyone wants me to do a video recommendation at the end of every show. Let me see. A video recommendation. Okay, I have one. It's kind of popular, but watch this movie, guys. If you haven't seen a movie and you watch a movie, watch The Cube. Here's the trailer. Let me find the trailer. The Cube is a bunch of people stuck. Wow, it's for free on YouTube. Wow. Okay, guys, I'm going to leave a link in the comments for you guys to watch a movie tonight if you want. It's called The Cube. Guys, watch this, please. This is phenomenal. It's a movie about a bunch of people that are stuck in this weird cube. And they don't know how they're in it. They all woken up in it. And they have to find a way out of the cube. And they work together as a team, and they're all opposites. These people are all opposites of each other. So I left a link. In the comments right there, The Cube, and these people, like I said, they wake up in this chamber type room, and it's a phenomenal movie, guys. It is for free on YouTube. I'll leave a link below again one more time in the comments here. Live comments for you guys to watch. Watch this movie tonight. There's no action in it. There's no special effects. It's good acting, good storyline, good, you know, let me see a cube. We'll watch the trailer together real quick. Here it is. You wake up. Buddy's in this room. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, every room is booby-trapped.
Why would they throw innocent people in here? Are we being punished?
There's a way in here, so there's gotta be a way out. Do you think they'd go to all the trouble to build this thing if we could just walk out?
Take a good long look around. But I got a feeling it's looking at us.
We have about 3 days without food and water before we're too weak to move.
I just want to wake up.
I looked in the room down there and something almost cut my head off.
Motion detectors integrated into the walls. Tough to spot.
You're not getting out of here.
Yes, we are!
There is no way out of here!
We need to get around the traps.
They're identified by prime numbers.
Figure it out.
I can't!
I'm not dying in a rat maze!
No more talking.
Again, I'll leave a link below. The Cube, guys, if you've not got nothing to watch, here's the full movie. And that's my movie. Everyone wants me to do a movie recommendation at the end of every show, because the movies they have watched were really good. So there it is, The Cube. Watch it. Anyways, guys, sayonara. Good night. Thank you. God bless everybody. And have yourselves a great weekend.